any second. There we go. And now we're live. Yay!
I'm liking this new phone though, Trinity, but there's so much about this new 14 Max that I just don't get.
What's that?
I got to figure it out.
How
I'm used
to
to hitting
dial
the
out?
button.
You don't have to press 9. You just dial.
I don't even know how to do a screenshot anymore, man. How do you do a screenshot in this? There's no
volume up and the close button at the same time.
Oh, okay.
So the button on the right, and then the volume up on the top left.
Oh, okay.
You do this at the same time and takes a screenshot.
All right. And already accidentally, I think I've almost accidentally called 911. I don't know how many times.
Yeah, these little doohickeys.
Well, it's like like when I'm holding my phone and trying to hold some luggage at the same time in the airport. Then I look at my phone and it'll be like, "Do you still want to call 911 or whatever the hell it's asking?" I'm like,
I don't have those.
Man, no.
I'm not part of the 1%er, so I don't have those problems.
What are you talking about?
Traveling and stuff. What's that?
Oh, not the traveling part, but
so that means you haven't even seen all the new widgets and everything, the screens and stuff that they have. Oh boy, you were so behind. For those of you who are just tuning in, by the way, he just moved from a Nokia flip phone to.
Shut up! I didn't have no damn. It was a Nextel. Beep 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 beep.
They still have those actually.
I was still radioing my homies in Mexico. Hey, beep beep. ¿Qué pasó?
Oh yeah.
All right, fun. Let me know when you're ready, bro.
Let me know when you're ready.
Holy shit! I heard myself. All right, I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Shut up and sit down.
That's a boom and a booyaka and a chakalaka for you. Anyway, what's up, everybody? This is Dope and Dharma. This is We the Middle edition of Dope and Dharma. And some of you know us for doing the Couch Live, which we've been doing for 24 years, talking about addiction and recovery. We also do Dharma Time, and that's on Tuesdays. And Dharma Time, we deal with spirituality issues, and we've been doing that for at least 5 or 6 years. And then, of course, we have... I'm probably inflating the years on Dharma Time. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know if it's been quite that long.
I only know 24 years for the Couch Live, and then all the others has been a blur. And then
I think Dharma Time's been a few years. I know that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And then We the Middle, which we come from a middle perspective. Neither Trinity nor I are gang members. We're not gang affiliated. We're not Crips or Bloods, so Republican or Democrat. We're in the middle. We talk about life issues, politics from a middle perspective, and sometimes we may agree with you Crips, and sometimes we may agree with you Bloods, but either way, it's things that we need to be able to talk about openly without being so mean and harmful to each other and canceling each other or whatever the hell we like to do to each other. Anyway, we also like to talk about sports because Trinity and I are big sports fans, or shall I say more than anything, we just really talk about football. The other sports, they really matter as much. I mean, let's
think they exist. I'm not really sure.
And to you, maybe. Well, then start your own damn show because to us, we like football.
Yeah.
Anyway.
If something major happens with one of those sports, I'm sure we'll talk about it. But
right. So I'm the street certified dope doctor, Louis Delgado. And that's Trinity Phillips, the Dharma guy. And Trinity's going to tell us how you can make sure you don't miss any of our programs, or you want to catch some old programs, or you don't like the We the Middle Friday edition, but you want to talk or listen to one of the podcasts in relation to addiction and recovery, the radio show or whatever, then he'll tell you about it.
Yeah, wow, dang, man. My beard is like wild today. Why don't you tell me about that before we went on air?
It is a little scraggly, man. It's about, I still want to do a fundraiser where we shave it completely off. I've never seen you, like barefaced.
Would lose her mind,
dude. Like, ask me if I care. I don't live with her. I don't sleep next to her, so I'm good.
You got space on your couch, man?
Dude, I got plenty of space, man.
Yeah, all your kids are gone, right? So, well, look, Dad. If you're willing to start footing the bill, I'll be son. That's okay.
I'll give you 1 month of bills if you do it completely.
It's like pocket change for you.
You want to cheat that challenge in 1 month? I will get all your bills paid for 1 month.
Anyways, yes. So for those of you who want to watch us live and comment, as Marissa has apparently already done, you can check us out on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, or Twitch Live under Dope and Dharma. That way you can participate in said conversation and you can watch us do what we do. You can see my weird beard this morning. Or if you want to listen at your own leisure, it rhymed. I'm a poet and didn't know it. If you'd like to listen to your leisure or just listen, you can go to any of your major podcasting platforms and find us there. And then, of course, you can always follow us on social media. He is at the Dope Doctor. I am at the Dharma Guy.
Right. That's good.
Done.
And then, and of course, there's Marissa from Facebook Live. She joins us. I love when you're on here, Marissa. We love having you on. Thank you for joining us. We almost had a guest. We almost had a different topic today. We won't even touch on the topic yet because, we'll do it when we do it. But unfortunately, the guest was unavailable today. So that's why it's on earlier than before, because we had already planned on being on at 11. So, since we're already up and at them, lights on, cameras action. One monkey don't stop no show, Trinity.
That's right. Let's make it happen, Captain.
So let's keep going. All right. So we got some topics today. So again, like I said, this is a We the Middle edition, meaning if you are used to, seeing Trinity over here be all Dharma time-ish and Zen-ish, it's not today. Not today, because this is when we do We the Middle. And if you're used to me being that counselor that I've been for 30 years, helping you get through life's issues and addictions and mental health, not today. I mean, that's still who we are. So you'll hear it within it. I mean, that we don't go completely off the rails because we are who we really are. But those job positions don't define us. And just like you have different parts of you, and this is a different part of us. And we like doing this more relaxed version of ourselves on Fridays. So hopefully it doesn't offend you too bad. But if it does, that's exactly why we do the show, to be honest with you, is because we think it's important for us to, instead of just being offended, just actually let's have a conversation and find out, why is it offending me? And can I get through it? Because I'm losing friends, I'm losing family members. And I know some of you say, I'm only losing the friends and family members, I don't care anyway. No, they matter. They matter. And you matter. And they shouldn't have to lose you just because you went off the rails and decided, you can't be friends with the other side. You know what I mean? No Bloods are friends. No Crips are my buddies, But anyway, so let's talk about the one issue that, man, I turned on the TV this morning, Trinity, and it was right there, man. And I don't listen. I've been traveling. I just got in. I'm not even getting into my travel woes again, Trinity. It's only on the flights back, which is cool. It's only on the flights back. Stop it. But I'm telling you, every flight back is taking me. Usually, it's been taking like an average of 7 or 8 hours to do 2-hour flights now. Recently,
yeah, but
my last three flights.
They're notorious for
Trinity, it takes all day.
Yeah,
but my last 3 flights is taking all day. Now this last one took 2 days to get back from Denver. I had to sleep over in another state, man, just to get closer to Florida.
Well, Denver's notorious for that, though. Like, aren't they in like a bowl basically with all the storms and everything?
So beautiful, though.
Yeah, of course.
I forgot how beautiful Denver. Let me tell you something. Denver. First of all, Colorado has always smelled like pot to me, but when I used to live there, it's because I was the one smoking it. So the difference is now everyone else is smoking.
Bro,
that whole state, bro. I'm in my car, Trinity. I'm in my car. I'm in my car on the freeway and I always hit the exhaust, like internal exhaust button, and my rental still smelled like pot all the time. The time.
Even here, like in driving in my truck, I have the windows down because my AC's all messed up at the moment. And as I'm going from stoplight to stoplight, that's all I'm smelling. And it's not even legal the way it is in Denver,
bro. I felt like I went to another country because when I was in the airport, getting on the train, like at the airport, there was a dude vaping pot in the airport, and I'm thinking, dude, did you not just see what happened to Brittany Griner? Do you not learn anything? You're not
we're in Russia, so.
Yeah, whatever. It's illegal here, I'm sure.
Are we going on Monday? Are you going to be in town on Monday for the show?
I haven't even looked yet, but I'm sure. Yes, I'm in town Monday. Yes.
If you're in town on Monday, we do the show. Isn't that what we're talking about?
What? What are we talking about?
That idea, that topic is are things too? Are we too lax?
Yeah. Write down. I'll forget. Monday. On the Couch Live. We'll talk addiction and recovery. And I'll put my certified addictions non-hat on. I'll take the hat off and be dressed up for you. Anyway, let's say Tyre Nichols, man. Tell us the story. What I land, Trinity, and I get here and I see a picture of 5 black police officers in a row, and I'm thinking, oh shiza, what happened? You know what I mean? What did they do now? And then I start hearing the story, and then you tell me the story. So please, what happened to these dudes? What did they do?
Yeah, I don't know the entire story either. I know the bits and pieces, so I know enough to pontificate about it.
Well, give me. That's more than I know.
So basically in Memphis, there's a gentleman who was pulled over and decided to try to make a run for it. For some reason, there were 5 cops on scene. They chased him down and beat the hell out of him. He went to the hospital on, I think it was the 7th of January. Went to the hospital and died later of his wounds on January 10th.
Oh, so he's dead.
He's dead. And then the 5 officers in question have been arrested, and they're going to be charged with murder, it appears. And I guess based upon the video that they have not yet to release, it's pretty damning evidence, apparently. I have not seen it, obviously. None of us have. But it shows them essentially, beating this dude up and killing him.
All right, so wait a minute. Let me unpack this a little bit. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
First of all, we've gone through some of these, right? We've gone through some of these, and
You
people
think?
and people look. There's always going to be these authority, and I'm going to take it from the standpoint of authority figure. There's always going to be an authority figure that abuses their role of authority.
Yes.
That's great. Whether it's a teacher, whether it's a boss, a person with a badge. That's not a new story. Okay.
No.
What I'm wondering right here, because right away you said they got arrested. What I'm used to seeing when it's this type of authority figure, a person with a badge, is that they get like desk duty or asked to go home, and then they do some sort of investigation. But you're saying they've already been arrested. Like this all happened like in a couple days.
Well,
right?
January 7th, I believe, is when it happened. He died on the 10th. We are now currently January 27th, and they were just arrested. So, 20 days or so.
So have I just been under a rock or something? Because I haven't heard about this. So is this a story that just broke? Or why is it just today that I'm hearing about? Here I am in January 27th, and you're just.
I think it's a big deal right now because they did get arrested. I mean, I think people have known about it. Obviously, individuals locally, it was a much bigger deal. But I think it made national news when they arrested the cops, because that's kind of a big.
So it wasn't national attention when the dude got his ass beat.
I got a theory on why that might be.
Oh, yeah. Should I be afraid to ask you about this theory?
I'm just saying, like, you ever played that game as a kid? Which one of these doesn't belong?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
one of these is not like the other. By the way,
yeah.
On Bill Cosby's show for kids back in the day, he would do that. By the way, so you just re-traumatized me, because now I'm remembering Bill Cosby talking to me when I was a little kid and going, "Yes, Bill, I love you, Bill." Now I'm a little worried about that. But go ahead.
Yeah.
What is your theory?
Well, so I'm almost embarrassed to admit that I was. Let's say I was intrigued when I first found out about this last night. I was intrigued because I saw the 5 faces of the cops that did it. I saw the face of the gentleman who was the victim of it. And I realized that they all shared something in common that was vastly different from all the other ones that made national news media. And that was the fact that they were all like non-white. And so for me, I was intensely interested when I saw that, because I was like, because I have a different theory about police brutality than what the mainstream media is pushing right now. The mainstream media would like you to believe that this is a white people killing black people kind of a thing, which I call bullshit on. The data just doesn't back that up. I think you were more in line with what it is when you started at the top of the show, and that is, I think it's an authority thing. I think it's a cop thing. I think that I don't think race is as high on the motivation list as everybody wants to act like it is. I think that there's a lot of people in this world who are stuck back in like the 60s or 70s or 50s even, and they're thinking there's Klansmen marching down the street and burning. Those days are gone, dude. Like I don't think racism is as prevalent as people want to pump it out like it is. It just isn't. And think to yourself, when you walk out in the streets and you're just out and shopping or doing whatever, there's black, white, Spanish, we're all interacting. Like nobody's yelling at each other in the streets and stuff. Like nobody cares really anymore. You have a very small group of people who basically don't matter, who are outwardly racist from all sides, right? There's old black folks, old white folks that hate the other race, but they're relatively harmless. What are they going to do? Instead of giving your change back on your hand, they're going to put on the counter. That's the extent of the damage that they can do. In other words, nobody of real power typically. Not to say racism doesn't exist. I don't want to get those emails. It does. I'm just saying it's not as big of a problem as it once was. And so I think personally that this cop thing has nothing to do with race, because if you actually look at the numbers, more white people get killed every year from police than black people. But for some reason, the media, whenever it's a white cop killing a black person, it's plastered everywhere. It's all over the news. You got riots in mostly peaceful protests in the streets. And then that's why I was very interesting last night when the 5 black cops killed him, how it wasn't a big, huge story. There was no violence. There was no people, in the streets. And I think the only thing that's different is the race. And so for me, what always should have been the real topic here is there are a significant amount of police officers who don't know handle the stress that they're under, and abuse their authority. I've ran into them. You've ran into them. I have many friends that have run into them. Most of us, not all, but most of us probably have at least one cop story where we were minding our business or we were doing something. Maybe you were speeding,
Right.
who knows? Or maybe you were just walking or sitting there and you dealt with a cop who was just a complete asshole. We all have at least one story. And I don't think that's a coincidence.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of cops out there who, now you could argue that they're stressed, they're underpaid, people hate them right now. It's not an easy job. I don't know if anybody out there is going to think that that's an easy job, but that's why you get paid, right? Like nobody forces you into that. Like you choose knowing full well that you're going to be scrutinized. Some people are going to not like you. I mean, it's not like it's a surprise. It's not like
Right.
you're going to be an ice cream vendor and next thing you know, you're a cop. Like, no, you know what you're getting into. Excuse me. And so I think the standards are higher. I expect more out of you, right? I expect you not to be reactive. I expect you to enforce the law, and therefore I expect you to obey it. And so when that person is expressing their First Amendment rights and they're saying horrible, mean, nasty things to you, I expect you to suck it up and do your job. And a lot of them, for whatever reason, don't. They're upset. The stuff that they see on a day-to-day basis, I can't imagine living through some of that, like showing up to some of these scenes where kids are being murdered and things of that nature. It's got to really weigh on you. And I think they carry that with them. And I think that they see so much disgusting negative side of human behavior that each new interaction, they're jaded and they just kind of unload on people that they shouldn't, and they take their authority way too far. So from the police perspective, I think that they need help. I think they need to be better trained. I think they need to have more mental health services to keep them sane. From our perspective, I think that we can help that situation by not being mean and aggressive and argumentative and things of that nature. Having said that, at the end of the day, the cops got to stop. There's way too many of them out there who just go overboard and hit people when they shouldn't, who have this idea that because they have a badge that essentially you have to just shut up and do everything they tell you to do. And when you don't, they get pissed off. And I think that is the problem.
Very well stated. Very well stated, Trinity. And to those listening and hear that message, I'm going to add this, though. Yes, they do have to stop doing exactly what Trinity just outlined. However, you can't control that. I can't control that. But what I can control is I can do exactly what Trinity said that they want me to do.
Yeah.
I've learned that part of it, and thankfully from Dana, my wife, because I was that young man that I was taking my personal aggression and my frustration with law enforcement from early years and applying that to every single one of them. Even if I was speeding, I thought you shouldn't have pulled me over for some reason. Like I'm a victim now because you pulled me.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, and
Sure.
so
How
so
dare you pull me
I would
over?
project that attitude onto the next one and the next one and the next one, or I didn't give them any grace period to be anything different but 100% professional to me, even though I was being jerky to them. And so what I've learned is I can't control them, but I can't control me, and so I just shut the hell up and do exactly what they say. And I have not been to jail since. I have not been beat since. I have not been harassed to more than a certain barrier. And the one time in the last 25 years that I was severely harassed by a law enforcement, it was unfortunately a black officer that judged me by my truck. I think at least that's what Dana thinks, and Dana's a white woman. But we had remember I had that big 4x4 redneck truck, and I love that damn truck. I actually thought it was a Mexican truck. I got it from a Mexican worker, man. I bought it off him. I bought it off one of my guys. And those of you that don't know, I'm Mexican too, so calmate. So I bought it off one of my guys, and I love that truck. But man, this cop, he was not very nice, and over and over again. And I had a baby in the car, and I tried to calm him down, and there was nothing I could do to calm. All I was asking, say, hey, please, can you just stop? You're scaring my kid. You're scaring my wife. I just said, I'm doing exactly everything you want me to do, but you got to just calm down because you're just. And he was like a 6'6" monster, dude. I mean, he was big, and he just would not stop. He was yelling at me, and the whole. And it didn't help that everybody at the Outback is like, "Hey, man, back off him," and he wouldn't.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was bad. Luckily, my attorney, which is my brother, shows up within minutes, and my father, who's a command sergeant major retired, shows up within minutes and nipped it in the bud. But he was thinking I was somebody different than what I was. Anyway, all I was actually I was parked in front of the Outback because I had a baby in the car, and you can't and you I was picking up food.
Sure.
The days, that was it. Anyway, that's an irrelevant freaking story. Other than this, since then, I actually had my tire changed by a lieutenant. Law enforcement officer. So it's important to also say that story. The fact that one day I'm stuck, and I think what it was is that I took golf clubs out the back. As soon as you had golf clubs, then
it changes everything.
You must need help.
Yeah. So the moral of the story, kids, is just have golf clubs in your car and you're good.
You just put golf clubs in your car and it changes everything.
Or put a sticker for the Marine Corps.
Yeah, I was dressed differently. I'm in a different vehicle. All those things applied. A different vehicle, dressed differently, side of the road, looked like I needed help. And I must have looked like I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Because he pulled over and he's a lieutenant, and he recognized me because at that time I had a TV show. And so he goes, let me we're not supposed to do this, but I'm going to do it for you. And he changed my tire. And I thought that was pretty dang awesome. So the moral of the story is develop your privilege, because it doesn't matter whether you're black, Mexican, white, or whatever. You can create a set of privilege where they treat you very differently. I'm kidding. No.
Well, I agree,
though. The point is, there's always been authority figures that have treated people poorly, and there's always authority figures that have done really well. There's great stories of people say this authority figure changed my life and made me a better person. Then there's stories of this authority figure abused their power and therefore made me a better person, right?
Yeah. Well, so I've been on both sides of it, right? Because my mom was LEO, I grew up.
You're assuming everybody knows what that is.
Law enforcement officer.
Thank you, there, Leo.
Yeah. Well, my point is I've seen both sides, because I was also on the other side of the law. I was on the bad side of the law, while my mother and all her friends were on the good side of the law.
Right.
And I've seen both ends of it. And one thing I will say is, yes, when you look at a lot of these videos, and this is apparently going to turn me into a racist, I guess, but a lot of the videos have something in common, and that is not the race. It's the attitude of the person being handcuffed or whatever. When, I've seen so many times where the cop is bartering with somebody and they're patient, and then finally at some point, this has got to stop. I've tried to argue with you, I've tried to talk to you, we're done talking. When they pull out the handcuffs, one thing I've learned from all the friends that I've had and all the things that I've seen, when the cop pulls out the handcuffs, it's over. There is no more debating. That's it. You're going. Now you can go nicely, or you can go. You can be moved. It's up to you.
Right.
And I've seen so many people turn and start arguing and yelling when they got their arm. Stop. If they're wrong, let them be wrong. Fight it in court.
Right.
Do not fight on the side, because at the end of the day, they have the authority to shoot you. Whether you agree or not, they have the authority to shoot you. And if they're wrong, it doesn't help you if you're dead.
Yeah.
Shut up. Do as you're told. And this idea, it irritates the hell out of me, because I've seen so many black families on the news. I have to tell my kids to follow and obey. I shouldn't have to do. Yeah, you do. My mom is white, and you know what I've been taught from an early age? Yeah. When a cop pulls you over, shut up and do as you're told.
Yeah, I'm Mexican. I was told the same thing.
It's common. It's authority thing. It's not a black white thing. And I'm not taught to be afraid of them. I'm taught to shut up and do as you're told. And this idea
and to teachers, not just cops, teachers
authority.
And everything.
Authority.
Yeah.
So for me, it's frustrating, because the amount of people who instigate the issue and turn it bad is overshadowing the legitimate excessive use of force. Because there is legitimate, because I've been on that side of it as well. I used to joke around with my buddies. I used to ride motorcycles, and there was an ongoing joke with my friends, and this might piss some people off who I don't know, but sorry. This is what we used to talk about while we were all like riding together. I used to joke that, at least here locally, riding around on a sport bike was like being a black man in the 30s, because they hated us. On a sport bike, dude, we were public enemy number one, and that's because so many of us could run from the cops.
Yeah.
I personally never did that, but I don't know what statute of limitations is on that, so I'm not going to say a word. My point is, on a sport bike, you had the ability to run, and there's nothing they could do. They couldn't catch you. The amount of speed that we can get on those things, we're gone, right? But what would happen is that would piss them off. They would get so mad that they couldn't do anything about that. So when they would pull somebody over, you got the brunt of every person who's ever run from them and pissed them off. You are now that guy. So every time on my sport bike, they would harass us. They would yell, oh my, we got treated like pure trash almost all the time, universally, by every state trooper that pulled us over, by every, Orange County Sheriff's Department and OPD. Universally, we were hated. And so I've been on the receiving end of just literally sitting here minding my business, and then them coming harassing with us, checking license, like taking people to jail. It's like, dude, what are you doing over traffic offenses, taking people to jail?
Right.
So been there, done that. I've seen both sides of it. I used to work at the courthouse in traffic. And so I've had discussions with them. And yes, a lot of them are arrogant pricks who don't know how to use their authority well. But that gets overshadowed because there's too many people who aren't respecting authority, man. The cops telling you, hey, I caught you speeding. I need you to, do whatever. Okay, I'm sorry. I had one, this was a few years ago. I had a cop pull me over, and I'm gonna be honest, it crossed my mind of what's gonna happen here. I legitimately didn't know what was gonna happen, because when I pulled over, cop comes up, and I have a concealed permit on me, and I have a firearm at my hip. And so when he walks to the window, the first thing I say to him, because I didn't know what was going to happen, I'm not trying to get shot today, so because I don't know how much of the bulge you could see from that angle. I don't know. I put my hands on the wheel as soon as he comes to the window and says, hey, just to let you know, before we start, I've got a concealed permit, and I've got a pistol on my hip. And he said, you know what? Thanks for telling me. I ended up not getting the ticket because he appreciated my calmness and my honesty. He gave me a warning, told me to go on about my day. And it wasn't because I was white. It was because I was calm and I was honest with him as soon as he walked up to the door, explained to him the situation, and he let me go. So I've been on those sides as well. And I will say that every single time I've been calm and just relaxed and just been respectful, the situation has gone better than arguing and things of that nature. And I don't think that's a coincidence.
Yeah, I think the word better is a true statement here. So with all that said, so we obviously are coming into this like you guys that are watching this or listening to this. You have your own personal stories. So now let's go into the story that now reminds us of our stories and puts us back in our own little pains or troubles. So let's go back into the Tyre Nichols then. All right. So now we're watching Tyre Nichols, and we're seeing an individual, and we haven't seen this. We haven't seen the video. I haven't seen the video. Have you seen the video?
I don't think it's been released to the public yet.
Okay. So we haven't even seen the video yet. We are already gearing up. You're already gearing up.
Yeah.
Because this I don't think a video has ever come out that made us feel better about the situation as far as when it comes to the people that riot. Now, it might make us feel better, but I'm not a rioter in the first place.
No.
So a video of either direction is never going to make me want to go burn some shit down. In either direction. It's just not going to make it happen.
Well, I want to burn a lot of stuff down. I just choose not to.
Well, I 100% want to.
Yeah, I want to go out and act like a fool half the time.
Right. But my commitment to myself and my family in my community is greater than my ego. And so that's never going to happen. Hopefully it's never going to happen. But anyway, but I've never seen a video come out and the same crowd that they're worried about that's about to riot goes, "Oh, okay, we're going home then. We're good. You guys did it. You guys did a good job. We're off." I've never seen a crowd that's this angry that has said, "Oh, government, you took care of those men properly, then we're fine. We're fine. We're good. You did what you were supposed to do. You're doing exactly what we wanted you guys to do. We're done." I've never seen that. To. It's always like once we've decided to be ramped up, we're ramped up. They ain't shit you can do about it. And the reason is because once a person dies, the person's dead. And because we all have our own little histories and our stories and pains, we're all re-traumatized to some degree, and some people are just traumatized more than others. People, that's it. They just have more trauma than others, and we have validated now some of that trauma, because if you remember, we just went through George Floyd not too long ago, and media dictated that it was a race issue, and there's been zero proof ever that it was an actual race issue, other than just some jerk off cops, right? But no, it has been earmarked, and it has been stamped as a racially motivated issue. Therefore, we just re-traumatized a lot of young black people that unfortunately are now experiencing Tyre Nichols, and somehow making it same. They're making it same because you traumatized them like that. You told them they were victims. You told them that there's cops out there wanting to kill them. You told them that that was a fact. And so we have put a fear into them. But here's where I call bullshit on fear. Because a lot of people go like, I'm afraid, I've heard people say this, and you've heard people say this. They go, I'm afraid to go outside, man, because I might get killed that day. A cop might kill me today. Here's where I call bullshit on that fear. Here's how fear looks. When you have an authority figure that you feel is going to beat your ass, you shut the hell up. When you're truly in fear, and here's my proof is, think about how you acted towards your mom, who you really do fear. Think about how you act towards that drunk stepdad with a bat in his hand, when you really do fear. You go hide, you shiver, you cry, you do that kind of stuff. Fear doesn't make you get in their face with a camera. I've never seen someone that fears their mom go, look, mom, I'm going to videotape you. Or look, stepdad, drunk stepdad with a belt that's beating my mother. I'm gonna videotape you. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Hit me?
My mom would have whooped my ass harder.
That's so you don't fear, you disrespect and you hate. And because you disrespect and you hate, you act out. And then you use fear and empathy to suck us all in. But here's the issue. This particular case, we have to let stand alone as this particular case. And this is what we don't do. None of us have any narrative on this other than the narratives that the media has chosen to give us, or that law enforcement has chosen to give us at this time. Here's what we know. The young man was brutally beaten, and he died as a result of his injuries. We know that.
Yeah.
Horrible, no matter what it is.
Correct.
We all have to agree on that. Is it horrible? Yes. And that's it. Not how, what, where should he have shut up, blah, blah, blah. None of that. Horrible. It's always horrible.
Yes.
Second, it's an abuse of power. Why do we know this? Because I don't think we've seen many cases where instantly all the law enforcement officers are arrested and put away.
Well, I think
that was done within 30 days.
Because of the public.
This fast, before the video is released? No. I can't recall not one case where
not before the
all
video
the officers. Now, here's where I think the next narrative can come in. Oh, I see why you arrested these officers and put them away so fast, because they're all black.
That's the first thing that popped in my head.
See, if these were white officers, you would have gave them their day in court. Oh, did you?
I think I texted you.
I didn't see that.
I didn't see that. I texted you. I said, "Isn't it?" I think
you're probably thinking it.
That the narrative is going to be that they finally did it, and it's just because they're black cops. Like, they're going to still figure out a way of turning this into a race issue.
And because people, remember, they sell soap when they have us angry with each other, because the more they have us pitted against each other, the more they can sell soap, and the more the Crips and the Bloods can control us. Both sides will use this racial issue. Trust me, this will be a racial issue, but it's not. This is not. This is authority versus non-authority, and it's an issue that has always existed. Do you remember Pink Floyd did a whole album called The Wall? Do you remember that says,
hey, teachers, leave
can't
those
eat
kids
your meat.
alone.
Yeah, hey, teachers, leave those kids alone. You can't eat your meat if you don't have any pudding. How can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat? You remember this? The authority has not just existed in this country, in all countries.
Yeah. And
there's always been abuse of power in all countries. You know what I mean? So this is not a new theory. This is not a new thing. This is not an America thing. So let's calm down. Calm down. Let's let this case be what this case is. And unfortunately, it's a really bad situation for the Nichols family, because even if we watch the video and see that he was not responding, not doing well, doing some things that were inappropriate and wrong, that's not going to take away their pain. They're still going to be in pain, and rightly so. And it's still not going to change the fact that luckily we got some officers off the street that are unable to handle their emotions and did what they did. It sounds like a hyena kind of response. You
Well,
know,
that's
like
the other
one
thing
goes in, they
too.
all go in.
We don't even know to what extent those 5 officers were even involved, right? Like we don't know if
Right.
all 5 of them were physically involved with the
Right.
brutality there.
Right.
You know, one of them might have just been on the scene, so he's guilty by association as well. Like we don't know.
But Trinity, I look, my you know, when I was arrested at 17 years old, I wasn't the shooter.
Yeah, no, guilty
You know,
by association is a real thing.
So when you're with the guy and you're
Yeah.
with them and you guys and he commits the crime right next to you,
Sure.
you're just as guilty as
But
that
I'm not going to
person.
act like in society we're going to hold them to the same level of accountability. In society, we're not. Like, yeah, we're going to get mad because why didn't you do something? But you know, if it's my kid, I'm more pissed at the person who actually put my kid's head through the concrete. Like that's who I'm mad at. Yeah, you should have done something about it, but like you physically hit my kid. Like, so my whole thing is I agree with you. Like, pump the brakes, wait for the facts to come out, respond, don't react.
Right.
You
And
know?
unfortunately, there's some businesses that there's some businesses that are going to get hurt tonight or tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Or in the coming days. There are some individuals that are going to get hurt in the next coming days. I feel for anyone out there right now that you're just going about your business the way you're normally going about your business, and you're going to accidentally run into somebody who's going to use this as the reason they are going to put some pain upon you. And that's the sad part, because media, we have a responsibility. We all have, if you have a camera, if you have a microphone, you have a responsibility to help calm the situation down. And you never do that. You never, ever, ever, ever do that. All you do, and this is both Crips and Bloods, all you do is piss us off more. All you do is victimize us more. That's all you do. And when you do that, to sell your soap, because that's all you're really doing. You're selling soap. I get that. But don't use my life to sell your soap. And that's what's happening even on this case. And that's the sad thing. So Tyre Nichols family, I feel for you, regardless of what I see on this video. But I am eager to watch the video because we all are. You know, how can we not? Anyway, that's because we don't have much information, Trinity. I don't know how much further we can go into this particular topic until we actually have more.
I think the video is going to change a lot. Like that's the moment that we can be like, okay, what happened? I mean, because at the end of the day, I don't think we can. I don't know. It would be very difficult, I think, for anybody at this moment right now to not feel something sketchy when one dude is dead and 5 people got arrested. Like, it doesn't look good for the cops right now. Like, I think we can all agree on that. Something feels kind of odd. Like, how can you not arrest one person without killing him when you got 5 people here? Like, you know, but once again, let's wait and see what the video shows.
And the crappy thing is, Trinity, is that we've had more murders upon cops, law enforcement officers than ever before. That is on the rise. The largest group of people that are starting to get killed over anyone else are law enforcement officers.
Yeah.
And all sides of media need to be promoting that. And you're not. Now on this one, at least the Bloods are saying that. At least the Bloods are out there saying, hey, law enforcement officers are getting killed at an alarming rate. We need to look at this. The Crips never talk about that stuff because they're afraid that they're going to somehow be on a side that they don't want to be. So the Crips aren't saying that. The Crips have said zero about that. But that's what's going to happen. What's going to happen is there's a 22-year-old law enforcement officer that just graduated the police academy. He's eager to be the difference maker that he felt that this new generation deserves. And he's sitting innocently in his car at a McDonald's and he gets shot in the back of the head. That is what will happen because of something like this. That's the kid that unfortunately will pay the price because of this. That's the sad part.
Yep.
Anyway,
next
story? Yeah.
Bam.
Good old Pfizer. Pfizer.
I'm hesitant on this one. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. So you could throw Moderna in there and all the other people that are making money off COVID. Now, all right. So Pfizer. Did you see the video, people? Did you see the video, Trinity? You watched?
I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched a few minutes of it, enough to kind of get the gist of what it was about. Once again, my problem is just where the video came from. I don't know how.
Okay, so let's give why. Yeah, why don't you start with that? Just give us a little rundown of what we've witnessed, and your perspective on it.
Okay, so a organization called Project Veritas, which is widely known to be a very far right leaning arm of a journalistic community, if you will. They've got a long history of doing these "I gotcha" moments for their videos. Well, they released another one. I think it was last night or the night before that they released it. They apparently had a individual involved with like the research and development, I believe, of Pfizer. They went out with them and were sitting at what appeared to be a bar or a restaurant. Got a couple drinks into them, had a hidden camera, and just started kind of chatting and talking. And this person, if you believe what was in the video, divulged some pretty alarming things about the practices of Pfizer and most likely other companies involved in the whole COVID ordeal, as far as mutating in themselves and the research and development side of it, and just some pretty nefarious things were discussed about the practices. And as far as my perspective on it, first and foremost, if you were to tell me that these multi-billion-dollar companies did some nefarious things, duh. Like, I don't know if I would not believe that. Like, this idea that the companies, because they make money, are somehow like beyond reproach, I think is borderline crazy. Having said that, I'm hesitant because Project Veritas is kind of notorious for blurring the lines on journalism, meaning they've carefully edited some things, they've manipulated some things in the past. So is it on my radar? Absolutely. Is it something that I'm very eager over the next few days to see if some of these other major organizations can vet some of this and what they bring out? Absolutely. Right now, am I reacting to it? No. Like right now, I'm like, okay, like I hear what you're saying. Let me hear some responses. Let me use my critical thinking here to figure out what's true and what isn't. Having said that, if I would be extremely disappointed if we find out this stuff is legit and nothing happens, which is likely to happen. It's likely that nothing will come from this, which is what pisses everybody off. Because the stuff that he said is unethical at best. At worst, it's illegal. And the fact that if it does turn out to be true and nothing happens to any of them, that's what pisses people off.
Right. Okay. I'm not as concerned about the source as you are on this, because the video that I've seen was pretty lengthy. And this guy just, I mean, I don't even think they're even feeding him snowballs. They're like feeding him nothing. This dude is just ranting. I mean, look, if you haven't seen the video, find it. It's hilarious. I don't even. Do you know the name of the guy? I don't even know.
I don't know. The guy's name is I'd have to look it up.
What I will say is that, again, I'm happy that it was a. Whoops! Did you see that?
I did not.
What just happened? Well, look, it's off.
Oh wow! Did you just? Man, your voice is so strong. You broke it off its thing. You're gonna have to go old school for the rest of the show and hold it.
No way, dude. I'm not holding this thing.
You get your workout.
Golly. Anyway, God, dude, if I have to hold this the whole thing, I'm really gonna get frustrated here. But I'll hold it. So it's another story. Yeah, I'm telling you, this is first world problems, bro. First world problems. This is another story. We just did a story where we just talked about the 5 officers who beat and killed a black man, right? And the one positive about that story, there's only one positive about that story, and that they were actually all black men. They killed a black man. That way, it makes it harder to make this what we know it'll be made into. Here's another story that I'm glad that the Pfizer guy, that they call the Pfizer executive. Now that's
his name is Jordan Tristan Walker.
Jordan Tristan Walker. So Jordan, I'm just glad Jordan is, number one, a black man, and number two, that he is a member of the LGBTQIA community plus.
Is that just an assumption, or did that come out?
Well, the guy that he said he was there to he out of his mouth. He was there on a date. Right? It was like a date. Yeah. It was a meet and greet date, and it was a guy. So, so I'm assuming if you called it a date and you're trying to flirt with your date, and I'm assuming
it is 2023, so one of them could have presented as a woman. Just saying.
You're right. Well, let them come at me and say that then, but for right now, I'm gonna go with the narrative that just thankfully it doesn't immediately meet the narratives of all those evil, the guys that look like you. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to protect you. I'm just
the execs look like me, other than
I'm
white.
Just trying to protect you. Well, that's but to them you're exec enough. So you're control. You're master enough. You bad
Right.
evil man. So anyway, so I'm glad it's that. The other part though is that this dude appeared intoxicated. I'm going to say that he appeared intoxicated. Now whether he
Yeah.
was or wasn't, I didn't give him a breathalyzer. Nobody did. But in the video, you watch him go off at the end when he realizes that there's cameras. When he realizes that everything he just spouted off was being recorded. This dude went off, started pushing the guy, started saying ridiculous things. We saw him on the phone to 911 say that there was 5 white men. He made it a racial issue. Said there's 5 white men surrounding me. I don't feel
see, I didn't
safe.
see all that.
Yeah,
I
he
didn't watch
goes,
the whole video.
oh, dude, he's on the phone in a corner. It's an empty, like the whole restaurant is like backed away from him. He's like, there's 5 white men here surrounding me, and I don't feel safe. Please come rescue me. Then they're trying to let him to see the laptop. They're trying to have him see the video, like what you just said. He grabs the laptop, jumps on it, slams it, starts breaking their stuff, and starts pushing them. So he's becoming physically aggressive towards them. He's destroying their property. He's accusing them of racial this and that, and he's trying to say he was just trying to show off. He was just trying it was a lie. He was just lying just to show off because he thought it was a date, which I believe you, by the way. I do believe you were lying and you were showing off, and I really do believe that part of it.
Well, when there's smoke, there's usually some fire.
But and I don't believe you're a Pfizer executive at that high level, unless Pfizer really has some crappy hiring practices. Because the way you behaved while you were happy drinking, and the way you behaved while you were angry drunk, both to me were disqualifying offenses. So I don't know how you behave normally, brother, when you're just professional, but you just seem way too immature to get by what I would believe Pfizer would have a lot of different interviews and a lot of different ways to hire. I just can't see this guy becoming a high-level executive. Now,
well, apparently his
Pfizer?
title is Director of Research and Development, Strategic Operations, and mRNA Scientific Planning.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great title. It's a great title.
Is it though? This seems like a long title.
But we've seen people with some great titles and they really have zero responsibility. So I don't know. In other words, what I'm saying is I don't know how high level. I'm just saying. I just don't know. So that's where I would say the Veritas thing could be a little bit. But the video speaks for the video. The video shows you him over and over again saying what Pfizer is doing, how Pfizer is profiting off this. So it's great for him, great for other people. This is, the same people that regulate become employees of the company. That way you can always get away with stuff and always, he is saying a lot of things that people have thought that you, that you Crips like to call conspiracy theorists. So he's actually validating, or at least he's also a conspiracy. If that's true, if there are conspiracy theorists on this, he's also one of them, and he works for them because he was just spouting off all the things that people have conspiracies about, and then just acted like a jerk at the end and just was ridiculous. And Pfizer really just needed to come out and just nip this in the bud, and they did. Yeah. But the funny thing, Trinity, is where's the story? Where's the story? Google it. Where's the story? Where's the video? Do you see it?
It's on Twitter.
How hard is it to find? Yeah,
it's on Twitter.
Of course, it's on Twitter because Twitter is now the place to go if you want to be a free person and speak. But Google it. Try to find it. It's not as easy.
Well, no, I mean, when
it's not on the news. I'm here watching.
But that's why, because I think once again, it's because it's Project Veritas. Like, first of all, if you Google Project Veritas, it's the first thing that comes up right now.
Yeah, I'm not as worried about that though, man.
But the reason why is because their
sources have good stuff.
Correct. But it's one of those things like context. Like, I don't know, man. How much of it is true? How much of it is fake? How much of it is staged? How much of it is doctored and manipulated? I mean, they're known for doing some sketchy stuff. I'm not saying that this video is. I'm just saying that the reason why you probably don't see it on the main news sources at the moment is because they are legally accountable for some of the stuff that they say. So therefore, they're going to vet this properly before they run with it. Whereas Project Veritas doesn't vet anything and they just put it out.
I think that's bullshit. I think they may use that as an excuse. I mean, but I think if it fit their narrative, bro, we've already seen how CNN and regular news networks have gone with stories that have not been vetted. have not been
but
validated
there's no
by
reason
anybody.
why Fox wouldn't want this story out, because this is everything that Fox.
No,
has
Fox
been
did put
saying.
it out. No, Fox did put it out. That's where I first heard it.
Oh, I thought you said that nobody was putting it out there.
No, I said the CNNs and the
Okay,
the Crip stations aren't putting it out there.
Gotcha.
No, the blood stations are doing it, or
Gotcha.
blood station. There's only one blood station. They put it out. They put it out. The Crip stations aren't. That's what I'm saying. Why?
Yeah, I first saw it on Twitter.
Remember when Pelosi's husband was beaten with a hammer. There was nothing validating why, how, all that stuff. And they went out and said that it was a white supremacist. They said it was a white supremacist that did it. You know, that he was this, he was a MAGA. They have that MAGA phobia going on that we got to do a show on MAGA phobia one day. You know, they were all just talking smack about it. And then now we've heard so much more sense.
Yeah,
after they've had a chance to review who he was and how he was. Yeah. And then now they're realizing, no, the guy was more left-leaning. We never heard that on CNN, that he was left-leaning. All we heard is that he's a MAGA Republican. Yeah. And he's not. So can't wait to see that video as well. But let me back up. Again, I call bullshit on them having to verify. What it is it doesn't meet their narrative. That's all.
Sure.
And it does meet the blood narrative. So since it met the blood narrative, because, you know, they're like, see?
Yeah. You know, I don't disagree. I just we'll see. What I find interesting is, like you said, the thing I find most interesting is Pfizer had the opportunity to squash that, and they didn't. That's what I find interesting.
That's the problem, Trinity. Pfizer should have came out right away and says, not only did we fire this guy, but, you know, we appreciate the work that the news network, whatever it was, Veritas, we appreciate what they did, because what they did is uncovered someone within our group that not only did not have the knowledge that he acted like he did not have the impact to our company that he acted like he had, was using us for his own relationship status and whatever status. Yeah. And thank you for exposing him, because he's no longer a member of our organization. If you would like an interview with a member of our organization that can accurately tell you how we do our things, how we research, and what we're doing currently, we would love to set that up. That's how they could have nipped it in the bud.
Yeah, and they didn't. So it's a head scratcher for sure. Like, it's okay. Well, and like I said, whenever there's smoke, there's usually at least a little bit of fire. Like, you know, in every lie.
You got to watch the video. You got to watch it when you see the kid going off. And I didn't see that part. It seems like he's like 25 years old.
Yeah, he seems young.
He's under 30.
I only watched the first couple minutes just to see. I got the gist of what it was going to be when I watched it. I didn't know the last bit. Like, that sounds. If nothing else, it's a good watch.
Yeah. Here's to all you future people that find out you're being videotaped or recorded or there's camera on you. Instantly shut up and go call an attorney. That's it. That's all. The only thing you could do at that moment: shut up, walk away, call an attorney.
Yeah.
You don't start trying to give your reasoning and your story. Never are they going to go, oh, that's why you did it. You're right. Let's
nothing positive is going to come from you continuing to talk.
You gave them better video. I'm telling you, my favorite parts of the video is when you're acting like a jerk and you're jumping on the ground. He's jumping on top of the last.
Yeah, let's see, now I have to watch it.
Dude, you got to. He's on the floor claiming that he's being beaten, attacked. I mean,
Jesse Smollett.
Dude, he is so Jesse Smollett. So Jesse Smollett.
Wow.
It's ridiculous, man. You just can't do this. I mean, you just can't. Anyway, but again, Jesse Smollett got away with it. He still has fans and people like him. Well, sort of, yeah, because we don't see him the way he probably would. Dude, if Jesse, you wouldn't have done that, Jesse, you'd have been bigger than life still right now. I mean, you know how relevant you would have been, Jesse. You were perfect, bro. You really were perfect. You had a good look to you. You sang like a beast. You acted really well. People loved you and liked you. You were on a top show. You had serious talent. Where are you now? Because
Laughing
Jesse
stock
Smolletted yourself
on Saturday Night Live skits.
Yeah. That's an unfortunate thing.
Right, well,
but yeah, so Pfizer, but we can't leave Pfizer without saying, look, dude, if they are doing that stuff, if they really are even considering,
they should be prosecuted.
If they even are considering mutating the virus so that they can come up with an antivirus in advance,
it's terrible.
That is incredibly dangerous. You know, incredibly dangerous. So please, somebody at least get an eyeball over there and see what's going on. Somebody have a conversation, because we're feeding them billions of dollars, man, in the next decade. Dude, what's with the yawning? What's
going on early, man? It's killing me.
Wait, did you
I'm
not
old
drink
now.
your Celsius? What's
No,
up?
it's not Celsius o'clock yet. No, I do that later.
Yeah,
Ever since
look
that
at you,
heart
bitch
thing,
ass.
man, I split it up now.
You mean ever since your Pfizer,
Yeah, my
or did you have the Moderna?
reaction. No, I think I got
Which
the
is the
Pfizer one.
2-time? Which is the 2-time?
I think that's Pfizer, right? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I had that one too.
Anyways, all right. So before we get to the football stuff, we got one more
Okay.
here. Guns
Okay.
again.
Oh my God, bro!
So
Guns again.
yeah,
Guns again.
I don't know the numbers on this one. I just know that over in California there was 2 shootings. I think one of them was like 11, and I want to say the other one was 7. I could be making those numbers up. I know that there were 2 shootings that happened within like a couple of days of each other in California. However, oddly enough, they didn't get a lot of huge news media, and I wonder why. Because it wasn't a white dude that did it.
Another win for the white man in today's story.
It wasn't us this time. It was 2 Asian dudes, which you don't really hear about, right? It's not usually Asian guys, but it was 2 Asian dudes who apparently like to make their
Because they've
their
had enough, Trinity.
grievances.
They've had enough. They've had enough.
Yeah.
They wanted their day in the sun. It's because
Yeah.
this is a lot. These things, people are not about race. These things are about psychopaths. These reasons are about
People just who
these reasons-
pissed, who are angry,
Yeah.
who are hurt, who are traumatized, and like, I'm gonna make you hurt. That's really all it is.
I don't even know these whole stories. I've seen more on this story in relation to gun control propaganda than the damn. I have zero understanding of who the victims are. I have 100% understanding how many politicians are talking about gun control now.
Yep.
That is my problem with these again.
Which we already have gun control. That's the thing that blows my mind is half the stuff that they're saying about the things that people are talking about gun control. We already have them. The problem isn't the laws. The problem is they're not being enforced, right? Like we're already not enforcing the laws that we currently have, which most of the laws people are asking for are already on the books, people.
Right.
It's already pretty hard to get a gun these days. Like this idea that we're just out there just giving them out in like vending machines or something like that for any 8-year-old, it's just complete bullshit. It's a lot harder to get than you think, man. And this idea that the 2 problems I have with gun control laws. Number 1, we already have them. They need to be enforced. The second problem I have with gun control laws is the only people, I can't believe I even have to say this out loud. The only people who are going to follow those laws are law-abiding citizens, which are not the people who are going to show up and shoot you. Like I've never once seen, with all the videos that we have nowadays of all these shootings and all this crazy stuff that happens, I have yet to see anybody walk in somewhere with the intent of a mass shooting, see a sign on the wall that says this is a gun-free zone, and be like, damn it, I got to go somewhere else. I can't do it because there's a sign that says gun-free zone, so I'm going to have to go find another place. Never seen it happen. What I have seen is people who have the intent of hurting others pick the biggest, most populated area they can think of, and it's a bonus if they think that nobody else is going to be armed there, and then they open fire. And usually the only thing that stops it is either if you're in Texas, one of the citizens there with a gun, or a cop shows up with a gun and says, okay, I see your gun. I brought my own. Let's do this. That's it. That's what I see. And so this idea that creating all these new laws that we don't enforce the ones we already have is going to now all of a sudden make all these people who are obviously okay with committing crimes and breaking the laws. Like, because I've thought about that a lot lately. So I do have you know what? I just thought about it today, as a matter of fact. Before we went on today, I had to take my wife to go get some imaging done. And as I'm walking into the door, like open the door to go into this imaging facility, I guess, there's a sign on the door that says no weapons allowed. And I'm thinking, okay, I mean, that sounds reasonable, right? Why would you need a weapon in an imaging place? Not to mention MRI machines and stuff. There's metal and whatnot. Like, I get it. Sure. But then as I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, I'm screwed, though. If somebody just to walk through that door right now and wanted to open on fire, I don't have anything. I'm screwed. What do I do? I followed the rule, but this person didn't. So, I did think of that. Like, it's kind of a shitty idea, right? Like, to think of that, you go into an area that is a gun-free zone, and because most of these shootings are happening in gun-free zones. Every shooting that's ever happened in the school, I can't even carry one with my concealed permit, by the way. With a concealed permit, there's certain places I can't go. Can't go into federal buildings, can't go into schools, and I can't go sit at a bar. And they define bars anything that makes a certain percentage or more off of alcohol sales. So that covers most bar, restaurant type things. So I can't even go into those places. And yet, where are most of our shootings happening? Schools mostly, and you could argue bars. So it's like, I don't know.
Federal institutions, when
they had going postal from back in the way too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It feels good to say, hey, we got to do, and they're right, mind you, that we have to do something about gun violence. I 100% agree that something has to be done. I disagree on what that is, but they lose me when they start going down these other weird emotional things. And the thing that bothers me is a lot of the people complaining about the guns and forcing all this talk about it. Most of them don't even have guns, so they know nothing of what they're talking about. And it's the responsible gun owners that are not the problem. It's these idiots who are breaking the law intent on hurting other people. And somehow you're wanting to put more laws on the people who are already following these laws. And then, and when they start saying things like, ban assault rifles, like they already are. Like when you're uneducated on a topic, you lose any credibility. Because if you start saying assault rifle and you point at an AR-15, that's not an assault rifle. Assault rifle is when you hold the trigger down and it keeps firing. So if it's one trigger, one pull, one bullet, that's not a assault rifle. So an AR-15 does not count. So it's like, it's I don't know. It's a very political thing, and I don't feel like any solutions have been said. Like I haven't heard anything like, that sounds like a good idea. Everything I've heard is either already being done or I think it's a terrible idea.
Right. I ditto to what you're saying. I completely agree. When I go to whether it's a gun show or a store where they sell the safes, like if you go to like Dick's Sporting Goods or whatever like that, you go to a place where they sell the big safes.
Yeah.
I kind of want to sit there all day and just kind of see who buys these safes.
No,
because
hunters.
I'm gonna go with an assumption that if you let's grab the last 50 mass shooters. I don't think any of them had a safe.
No. I can tell you right now who buys them. I know. I have family members. They're hunters who have a collection.
Right.
They're doing it because they're pricey. They're very expensive weapons, and they want to keep them safe from people trying to break in and steal them. That's who has safes.
Exactly. And those are the same people that go through the trainings. Those are the same people that go to the range and train at the range, that are members at the gun clubs. These people know how to use their weapons. By the way, if a lot of the shootings that were happening were actually only happening by those people that are legitimate gun owners, they hold a card to hold them.
I think I know where you're going with this.
They would never hit innocent victims, because those people know how to shoot. They would hit their target a lot more. The people that are typically irresponsibly using a gun, they don't know anything about guns. We always hear that they just got it or just stole it. They're not the seasoned gun owners. So again, do your research on who you're talking about, because you keep on trying to attack a population of people who are the most responsible with what you say is one of the most lethal things on the planet. Oh, so let's go with that. Okay, yeah, very lethal. And yet they've been walking around you your entire life and never shot you. And they're all around you.
I carry one every day almost.
You don't know how many people actually, and you know how I know? Because when this conversation comes up and I'm at an airport or something like that, guess what? Everyone around me is a gun owner, and Trinity, they don't even listen to that rule about you with the bar and the restaurant, because they're all carrying. And it's like, what?
I never said what I did or didn't follow. I'm just telling you what the rules are.
I'm just saying it's amazing. It's amazing, and it's a cross section. It doesn't defy by color. It doesn't defy by job or look. There is no defined look. I'm telling you, there's zero defined look with how many people have guns around me, and yet I'm not shot. And the reason I'm not shot is because those people are the most responsible with their weapons. Remind you, they're around crappy talking people all day, just like you are. Smack talkers. There's smack talkers everywhere. If every gun owner would just shoot a smack talker, Dude, there'd be a shooting every 2 seconds. It'd be ridiculous.
Actually, you know what? I got a question for you.
What?
And this might have to do with our collective background. I just thought of this when you're talking, so I didn't mean to interrupt, but I think it's an important question.
Okay.
Based upon the area and the mentality that you grew up with,
Mhm.
in addition to the one I grew up with, and this is going to sound like an insane thought to some people, but
Mhm.
didn't you already assume most people around you had a gun?
Yes.
So did I. Like, I'm not surprised when I just assumed most, because the area I grew up in, people already had guns, and they weren't legal concealed
Every
weapons
house.
carried.
I thought
Yeah,
I thought every house had them.
every else had them, and people had them. Like, it never even occurred to me that there's people out there who didn't. So
Right.
there's it's just weird to me that there's so many people out there who are like, "What? You have a gun?
Well,
Like, where did you live?"
and that's the thing. That's really the point. It's like if you realized how many people are walking around with a lethal weapon and yet they're not shooting it, you would know the numbers are minuscule. They're so minuscule that the real issue is we now somehow there's an attention people want, and this is more of a social media issue and a infamy issue than a gun issue. And here's where I'm going with that. You know how some people seem to only post or do things to get likes or to get attention? That's what these shooters are doing. It's almost like they're just trying to get the attention part.
Oh yeah,
It's not
they've
about
been
the
saying that for
gun.
years. They're
The
trying
gun
to
is
one-off.
irrelevant. They even exactly. They even say why they do it. The people that arrest them profile them as a person. That's what they want to do. We have even said that's why we want to talk more. The same news channels that are spouting this gun control crap. You've even said we try not to give their name or show their image. We want to make sure to give you the image and show you about the victims. Even that there's people out there that are doing this just for that part of it.
Yeah,
Just
that's
for that
bullshit,
part of it.
by the way.
But
Because
you're giving it.
they stopped doing it with suicides, by the way, because they found out when they talked about suicides, the area that was around that, the suicides went up because people heard about it. So they deliberately stopped. And you know what you don't hear about anymore? Suicide stuff. So they know how to stop. They just choose not to. Because we still know the body counts. We know the name of them. We know where they grew up. We know their whole life story. And yet they talk out of one side out of their mouth how, oh, we're not going to show this because and yet that's all you see. So they're full of shit. Because suicides, they don't talk about that at all.
And it's because it's good news. It's good news. Again, selling soap. So, but it's not about. You're not doing it with the gun control part. Those people are not the ones you're trying to attack. That's almost like saying because some people cheat on their taxes, everybody has to pay the price, which is a fact. Because some people do cheat on taxes, everybody has to pay the price. You know what's also a fact? I have to pay more for everything I buy because some of you shoplifting crappy people. Because you shoplift, because you steal, or because you try to return shit that you really you broke, but you get your money back. I got to pay more for my next product. That's a fact. That's the way the world is. The people who live and walk this earth legitimately to the letter and by the rules pay more in their life.
Yeah.
That's it. You pay more in your life with this. The ones who do it wrong pay less this, but they pay more here and here. And the results, your karma sucks. That's why you still live in your shitty environment. That's why you're with your still shitty people that you don't want to be around. That's why you constantly get in trouble, but you don't know why you're constantly getting in trouble. They're picking on me, or it's because I'm this and that. It's because that bad karma is following you around because of the shit you're doing. The legitimate people, they're comfortable and right. They can sleep well at night. You know what we forgot? We never talk about that part of it anymore. I could sleep well at night because what you don't understand, people, is even if you don't have a conscience, there's a karmatic cloud surrounding us. I know this isn't Dharma time because then he would tell me, the karma doesn't really exist, and he'd try to explain it differently or whatever. But I'm going to explain karma the way I talk karma, and the way the normal of us, the non-Dharma timers, is that there's a cloud above you. And that's why bad shit's always happening to you. And so that is part of the deal. But guns again? I mean, you're going to talk about guns again? No, man. This is just this. And thankfully, we're not talking about white man shooting other people again. Instead it was Asian guys doing it, man. Again,
thanks for that, man.
I mean,
we get the day off, man.
It's so weird that the news cycle that's running right now is all others doing it, and that,
Yeah. Oh, well, some white dude will do something stupid before the weekend. Don't worry.
He did. Biden. Not Biden. Pence.
Let's go ahead and do that one. The and more part.
So listen. I'm gonna now.
This is such a weird story, dude. It is.
I'm gonna speak now to every politician, can you just go home, just check your shit, and just if there's anything stamped confidential, can you just turn it in and just show us that all of you do this? Because apparently all of you do this. Because now Pence comes out with documents and goes and turns himself in and goes, hey, by the way, I got some too. It's like I was like, now here's what I'm imagining, Trinity. Here's what goes through
I think
my
I
mind.
got some in the other room, by the way.
Every single one just looked at their wife, husband, in the bed. Someone looked. They all looked at this. Goes, should I tell them? Should I just self-disclose, or should I just shred it? Like nobody knows I have it. I mean, do I really come out and do it? Because now you know damn well. That tells me every single one of these Congress people, every single one of these senators, they all have shit at their house. I'm
Well, they
convinced.
sent the letter out.
It can't just be presidents and vice presidents.
No, but they sent the letter out. That's how, you know how embarrassing that is to like have to send like a memo to every former hey, by the way, if you got any, like, oh my God.
They all got it. They all got it.
This is such a crazy story. But what's even funnier, that I secretly am laughing my ass off, is the Trump derangement syndrome. All of those people have to shut up now because everybody's done it. So it's like it loses its impact.
They won't.
It's hilarious. I don't.
They won't,
I can't wrap my head
because
around
they
it.
say it's different. They say it's different
Of course,
because
it's
these
different
guys.
because his name is Trump.
No, and here's the weirdness. They're saying it's different because they are being cooperative, and the real point is no, they're different because they didn't even know they had it. They are so incapable. They didn't even know they had it. At least he knew he had it. Yeah. He's the only one being honest with us, people. He's being honest with us. He said, "Yeah,
he was cooperating.
Yeah, I took him. You know,
he was cooperating. He just wasn't doing the timeline that they wanted."
Exactly. He's doing it to the letter of the law that you need to. Dude, that's why he's smart enough not to pay the taxes that he has to for the money he makes.
He was just being a troll was all he was doing.
He's using the law against the law. That's all. You want it differently, then you change the laws. These other guys are doing it this way. They're doing it the old, because they're politicians. He's not a politician. So he said, yeah, hell yeah, I have it. He's being like that, the Teflon Don over there. Whereas these people are politicians and they're going, what?
I have no recollection of that.
I have no. Yeah, that's the lie. He's not being cooperative. How is saying I didn't know I had them being cooperative? Yeah. That is not.
What is your definition of have?
Yeah, he's not the one that found them and called it in. He had an attorney found them. So yeah, the attorney, because the attorney's not going to risk their life for that dude. They worked hard to get their law degree and they get their license. They're not going to risk their life. That's why they turned it in. But they act like all of a sudden Biden was like, fixing his car one day and goes, oh, shit, I better call him and turn this in.
What are all these boxes over here?
He's still saying he didn't even know what they were and how they were.
He had them in like multiple places too. Like, I don't understand.
So I'm convinced all of you got it. All of you got shit at home. Stop lying. Stop trying to fool the American public. You all did. Just like I think most of you are cheaters, most of you are liars, and most of you have private documents that you shouldn't have.
Pedophiles probably. They probably all in some weird things, man. Like
there's a reason why Washington D.C. has the highest number of prostitutes than in any other state per capita. It's come on.
Yeah,
you all are same, and you just want to point at someone different and try to fool the rest of us. And some of you are buying it.
Yeah, way to ruin everything I was ever taught as a kid, right? Like I was always taught as a kid, top secret and all this other stuff is this major thing, and then you grow up to an adult and you realize like, no, it's in this garage somewhere. Like nobody cares. Like, it's just, oh man, it reminds me of like HIPAA. Like we're more like enthusiastic about HIPAA than we are top secret materials. Yeah. Right, like they won't even talk to me about my wife sometimes, even though I'm on the list for HIPAA. Meanwhile, you got and each one of those are locked in like padlocks and everything else. Meanwhile, you got top secret documents hanging out in a garage somewhere. I can't wrap my head around it.
Would you not, Trinity? Would you not say that anything confidential, top secret, is something that should be in a safe place?
You would think.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Do you know where your weapons are right now?
Yes.
Do you know where your birth certificate is right now?
Yes.
Do you know where your social security card is right now?
Right next to my birth certificate.
And he's a normal person, people. He's a normal, everyday citizen. Most people will answer yes to those questions. Now, if you could not answer yes to those questions, and you're like, well, I didn't, do I have, where is that? I don't, then you're like them. Because those...
not even because those things that you just mentioned only affect me. top secret could affect the entire country or the world depending on what it's about.
But what I'm saying is they're important. I'm just saying that
Very.
they're important. That's all I'm
They
saying.
were
They're
important enough to be labeled top secret.
Right. You know what's not important? The shit that you got just stored in your garage just sitting there. That's not important. That's when you find something that you go, oh man, I didn't even remember I had this.
It's called a catch-all is what that is.
That's not important.
Yeah.
And what Biden just said, and everybody is allowing him to say it, is he just says, no, the confidential shit ain't that important. So I didn't even know it was there.
The garage is like the equivalent of like that junk drawer that everybody has, you know, where just a drawer that just catches everything and you have no clue what's in there.
Right.
It's the same thing. It's like, oh yeah, there's top secret boxes over there.
First of all, I'm just picturing Trump laughing his ass off in Mar-a-Lago. So, because first Biden comes out with it, and then Biden came out with it again, 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 and now Pence came out with it. So you know damn well Trump is like smoking a cigar. I go, oh yeah, you too, Mike. See, all you motherfuckers.
You know the best part though, like a humoristic sense, is Biden's commercial that he did, and you could see him in the background of the commercial. Like you couldn't even make this shit up if you tried. Like that is, I don't have words, man. I don't even know.
So crazy. I can't. And the other thing, so we got videos coming out too, right? You got some big videos coming out.
Pelosi thing is supposed to come today.
All right, so we're gonna finally see, Pelosi's husband video, right? The body cam,
whatever that was.
Is it body cam or is it like their security cameras photos?
I think it's both. I want to say it's the body cam of the cops who showed up to interview, because there seems to be some debate as to what happened immediately afterwards, and so that video is being released. And I want to say that there's surveillance. I'm not really sure, but I just know that's being released today.
And here's another story that no matter how you color it, dude. It still sucks that an elderly gentleman gets hit in the head with a hammer. There's no way to make that okay, right?
No,
however, it's the way you when you go out there, you Crips, and you paint it as a blood issue. You better present a blood issue. That's all I'm saying. You painted it being a blood issue, then you better present that video. Better present a blood issue. But you know damn well, I don't care what it says. The Crips out there are so ingrained in being Crips that they're not going to read it any differently or see that video any differently than what they expect to see it. It's not going to happen.
Pretty much.
And then the other video is which is the other video that's coming out.
That's the only ones I know of. Is there another one?
No, I thought there was another video that was coming out today. You said
no, just that one. That one's coming out. The Pelosi stuff.
Okay. All right. Well, then good. We get some entertainment. No. You said the body cam for the story we talked about earlier.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think that's coming out today or not. I just know that they're releasing it at some point.
All right. So bring on the videos. We'll see what happens. Anyway, God, man, what a news cycle. Didn't expect all that news to be hitting.
Yeah, who knows?
Right.
But I'm ready to talk about the good stuff, though.
All right, NFL, bro.
Bam! First of all, I'm a little disheartened because neither one of us can talk shit because we were both 2-1 or 2-2, I think.
3-1.
3-1 was it? Yeah. No, oh yeah, we were both 3-1. That's right. Yeah, so neither one of us can really talk smack to the other because we're 3-1, same record. So that kind of sucks. But I do have some picks for tomorrow though, or Sunday.
Okay. Well, before we get to the picks, why don't you tell everybody who's in the playoffs, man? There's some people that may not know.
Well, on Sunday, you have the AFC and the NFC championship games. AFC championship game is Cincinnati, Kansas City. And then the NFC championship is San Francisco and Philadelphia.
And by the way, NFL, I'm not happy that they're both on the same day.
Really? Why not?
I like it spread out so I can enjoy it.
It's the same amount of hours. It's just 2 different days.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, because now you got me locked down. Now you got me either being a bad dad, bad husband, bad something. Because, you know what I mean? That's a lot of hours.
See, that's how I felt when you had 2 days with 2 games per day. It's like, I told my wife, I was like, yeah, I got football on Saturday and stuff.
Oh, yeah, she hated last weekend.
And then on Sunday, she's like, wait, I thought you should have football yesterday. Well, it's today too. And these are like really important. And she's like, yeah, they don't get it, man. They don't appreciate the same level we do.
Mm-mm.
But
no,
she did like the fact that I was happy that the 49ers won. So there's that. Right. That was my saving grace.
Yeah. So 49ers over Eagles, that's what you think?
Oh, yeah, of course. I think 49ers and the Bengals in the Super Bowl. I called that a few weeks ago, and I'm sticking with it.
Bengals, Eagles is what I'm calling.
Yeah, I think you're half right.
Bengals, Eagles.
I don't think they. I don't. Well, first of all, let's go over the games, right? So you had Kansas City beat up on the Jacksonville Jaguars. However, the Jags held their own. I mean, they stayed closer than most people gave them credit for. But I think that was a lock-em game. I don't know of anybody that was really picking the Jags unless you live in Jacksonville, and even then, pretty sure you weren't going to pick them. Scary moment.
I wanted
there for a
them,
minute.
but I didn't pick them. I wanted them, but I didn't pick them.
I think they're a feel-good story, but nobody was picking against Mahomes. Even when he went out, they still weren't picking against him. Thankfully, he wasn't hurt too badly. It looks like he might play this weekend. And then the other one was the Bills and the Bengals, which, wow. The Bengals made the Bills look pretty pedestrian.
Dude, they made them look like TCU.
Yeah, man. I've seen a lot of stuff come out now where people are kind of ripping into Josh Allen a little bit. Like same kind of thing with Aaron Rodgers and all them. What has he actually done? When you look at his record in the playoffs, and man,
unfortunate.
Yeah, I kind of have to side with him though. Like, yeah, he's had some great games where he looks phenomenal, but at the end of the day, dude, we're not paying you to look phenomenal. Right. We're paying you to take us to the promised land, and you have not done that.
And they're right, because it wasn't just Burrow, dude. That defense locked him down.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just Burrow. It wasn't like it was a shootout. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they look terrible. I will say that
Burrow is bad, bro. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, I like Burrow a lot, actually.
Look, I am not a Cincinnati fan. They are in our same. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and yet I still love this brother, man. He is that good. He is just that cool, that good. He's fun to watch. I love his swagger. I mean, he's got so much Deion Sanders in him. It's ridiculous. I love it.
I love he's asked like his window my whole career. Dude, I love his answers and stuff, man. But I'm telling you, and if you rewatch it, I'm telling you what I kept trying to explain to everybody that day, and I even texted you. I think the reason why the Bengals won that game is they adjusted to the conditions better than the Bills did, which is weird because it should have been Bills home field advantage. But they look like they've never played in the snow before. Whereas when you look at the Bills, they were running almost slow motion. Like they were doing choppy feet instead of like long strides. Like they seemed like they adjusted to the field conditions way better. Like they weren't slipping, they weren't sliding. And so it's just weird that the Bills, this is your home turf. Like that's the whole reason why you wanted it, is because people can't play. And it's like the way they were running, it was like they never ran in snow before. Whereas the Bengals, I'm telling you, if you rewind and look, man, they were doing like half strides. Everything was real slow. They were tiptoeing to get open and then running. Like they just did a better job, I think, adjusting to the weather. I really do.
So I
don't think they're that much better.
Cleats?
Huh? Yeah.
They didn't have 3-inch cleats.
I don't think they're that much better than the Bills. I think they just adjusted to the weather better than the Bills did.
Which says coaching.
Yeah.
Which goes to the coaching and the team.
Yeah. They adjusted well to me.
That the home field advantage, it really looked like the Bills were from Miami.
Yeah, they didn't know how to run in the snow. It was weird. They didn't change their stride or their pace at all, and they weren't getting open. They weren't getting separation.
I agree.
It was just weird. So, and then the other game, of course, on the NFC side, you had the the Eagles winning against the Giants, if you want to call that a game.
Again,
I was totally wrong on that one. I overestimated the Giants. I didn't really pay attention to the Giants that much all season. I saw them in the playoffs last weekend, and they looked pretty good. So I figured they were going to sneak up on the Eagles. Little did I know that the Giants suck, apparently, and the Eagles blew them out of the water. Like, it wasn't even close. The score doesn't even show how bad that game was. I turned it off at, I think midway through the first quarter, beginning of the second. I just stopped watching because I could tell that avalanche was coming. So that was the other game that was going on.
Brother, who you have not paid attention to this season has not just been the Giants. You haven't paid attention to
the Eagles? No.
The Eagles are bad. They're just bad.
Okay.
And they showed it, and they made the Giants look as silly as they are. Oh, they just released a video, the Pelosi video.
Oh, okay.
It's out. They're showing it on TV now.
Okay.
So they're just bad. And let me tell you something. You have no idea what you guys are up against. You've been so focused on 49ers. You've been so focused on 49ers that you haven't even thought about looking at.
Yeah, you're right, man.
You're making the biggest you're making a huge mistake by not respecting your competitor.
No, man. No, you're right. They're unbeatable. I don't know what we're gonna do. Like we are so.
Oh, is that what you're hearing?
Is that what you're hearing? We are so no. I'm agreeing with you. They are unbeatable. They are like
No,
the second coming of the
no,
72
you're actually
Dolphins
missing what I'm saying.
or
You're
the
missing what
85
I'm saying.
Bears. Like
No,
I don't
you're
know what we're
missing what
gonna
I'm saying.
do. Like
I'm
we're
saying
lucky to even be in their presence.
I'm saying that you have not paid any attention to them, so you don't even know what they are. Luckily, your team watches tape. Luckily, your team has respected them, and your team will prepare itself for that team.
Do you think the line
Unlike
gives
its
a shit
fan
what the
base,
sheep think?
that just thinks, oh, because we can make the Seahawks lose the way the Seahawks lose, that even though the Seahawks scored 23 points on us, and how many points did these last dudes score on you?
12.
Dallas, yeah,
12.
Dallas almost beat you.
A
You can't
whopping
even
12.
score it. You scored one touchdown against Dallas.
We scored what we needed
brother,
to.
no, but you did not score.
We did what we needed to do. Last I checked, we got a
Oh
W.
my God. Yeah, and you stick to that. You stick to that because you forget that I've known you for a lot of years, and I know that's not all you care about. But that's okay. But I'll let you say that this year because this is finally your year where you're confident, and I love that about you because you're never this confident. You're never this happy. You're always a miserable, grumpy, negative bug when it comes to your team.
Years.
So I'm glad you're finally happy.
Where's my Niner gang? Is he on here today? Where's that dude?
But to disrespect what you are about to go against, brother, you are in for a rude awakening. This is the number one sack in defense.
How did I disrespect
number
it?
one sack in defense.
Right. They're like the next 85 Bears.
Your dude. We're finally going to see how your dude runs because he's going to have to run. So he's going to run.
Unbeatable. They're unbeatable.
We're going to see what he does under that kind of pressure.
You're right.
It's going to be fun.
Unbeatable. It's like the greatest.
You could only score 1-7 against the Dallas defense. This Eagles defense is even better.
Yeah, they face defenses like us all the time and run through them. And our offense
actually they did that. Actually, they did that graphic, but you probably missed it. So they have been showing that on ESPN how the Philadelphia Eagles, have actually gone against better defenses and more prepared for better defenses.
No, they haven't.
That you actually haven't gone against better defenses. You haven't gone against better defenses. You haven't.
They have not gone against better defenses because we're number one.
No, not better than you. Better in your schedule. In other words, they've gone through better defenses in their schedule than you have. So yeah, they showed those graphics, and they showed the graphics of a lot of things. You're just ignoring them.
No, they're unbeatable. I already told you.
You're right. Which I would be too, by the way. If it's
they're the
Steelers,
85 Bears, they're the 72 Dolphins.
Like you.
Because
that's what I said.
They're going to be a millennial team to remember. They're amazing. Like they're unbeatable. You're right. I don't know what we're gonna do. We're gonna have to really try hard and figure out something. You're right, man. They are.
Yeah, this is awesome.
I'm so worried. I don't know what we're gonna do.
Yeah,
because we don't have a running back. We don't have any receivers. Yeah. Our defense isn't that great. Like we're lucky to even be there.
This is the first time because I've always allowed myself to be on a pedestal to get knocked down. This is the first time you've done that. You're actually vulnerable, and it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. For those of you that don't know Trinity will not allow himself to be in a position of loss, and you can talk smack to him. He will always leave that little hedge bed of going like, but we'll see. I don't know. Maybe. This is so freaking good for me. This is so juicy for me because he is actually giving me so much. He is going, whoa. He is all in. He is pot committed, people. He is all chips in saying, we are going to dominate. And this makes it even better for me for Sunday.
I just told you. No, I just told you. I don't know what we're going to do. I just said the Eagles are unbeatable.
You said that as believable as Biden said. There's nothing to hear here. There's no there. This is awesome. This is awesome.
But the other game, though, the KC.
Trinity, thank you. No, wait. Thank you, Trinity. Thank you for being so confident. Thank you.
Well, that's what happens when we have a quarterback that I don't think is going to Jimmy it up because Jimmy is bad.
I'm going to do one of yours. We'll see. Okay.
Yeah, we'll see. But the other one,
I'm gonna do a Trinity. Okay, we'll see. Maybe.
The other game, though, I think is very interesting. That game, I'm not as confident on. I'm picking Cincinnati, but
the Bengals game.
Yeah, Cincinnati's 3-0 against Mahomes, but man, I just feel so icky inside picking against Mahomes because that dude is something special. I am really excited for that game. I'm definitely, of course, I'm excited for the 49ers game, of course. But the Cincinnati KC game, man, that man, I think that one, because their last one went in overtime is like a shootout. It's just going to depend on how mobile Mahomes is. the thing is Cincinnati matches up so good against KC. I mean, their matchups are it's all favored for the Bengals, which is why they're 3-0. But do you think we're the only ones that know that they're 3-0? I'm pretty sure Mahomes knows that as well. So I don't know. I think that game's going to be pretty good.
This is a big deal for Mahomes. I think this
Yeah.
is a really big. This game is going to mean a lot more for Mahomes.
You think so? Even with the injury? Because I think the injury takes a little bit off of it.
No, I don't. I don't. I think
Okay.
for him psychologically, he is always. I think he believes the hype that we've given him, and because it's not hype, it's real. He's that good.
He should believe it.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? But when you start losing to somebody consistently, and they're getting your crown, you think that's my crown.
I can see that.
That can start messing with you in a way that we don't understand. We're not that level of athlete. And that level of athlete, I think, requires that. I think they absolutely need to believe they are unbeatable, that's their crown.
Right.
And I think that's the edge Brady always had. Even though Brady wasn't the best, Brady, I think, had that. He already has that. Psychologically, he does believe that. You know what I mean?
Well, those were the Peyton and the Brady one. Peyton Brady.
That's my freaking title. You know what I mean? And Mahomes has to start doing that, or else we're going to move on. You know what I mean? We don't want to move on. I think all of us at least thought Mahomes will end his career with like 4 or 5 rings. I don't think anyone that thought that he wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't see him getting to the 7 that Tom has, but I can see him doing 4.
He better start winning them, because if not, he's not going to get there.
That window is
now Burrow has that confidence.
Yeah.
Burrow believes that's my freaking title.
Yeah.
That's my title.
You know, the other thing that I haven't seen enough of is the acknowledgement of what happened though with Mahomes. I mean, the dude hurt his ankle. He stayed in for a while. Like, he ran a few plays with his destroyed ankle. He missed 2 drives and came back in and won the game and played well. Like, you got to give your hats off, man. I mean, that can sideline most people. That dude came in and fought through it for his team. Like, you don't think of Mahomes as this tough guy. You typically think of him as Superman, really, as far as just running all over the field and doing these crazy things and stuff like that. But typically those people are thought of as finesse. You know, you don't think of him as this tough dude that can get his ankle rolled and still stay in there and fight through it. So, like, bravo to that, man. Like, that it's kind of impressive. I like that.
And I'm glad, because where I have him in my head is way up here. I have him up here.
Same.
You know what I mean? But and even though he's way up here, all 3 of those teams that are also might be Super Bowl champions this year, I can see beating the hell out of them. All 3 of them,
of course. Yeah.
Even though I have him up here, and I've never seen that. This is the first time that he's gotten this far where I'm thinking every single one of those other teams can beat you. I've never thought that about him.
All 4 of these teams can win it all. Legitimate.
Yeah, but I've never.
Which is also why they're all 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, but I always thought if he's there, he's taking it. I just did. Yeah. But because he didn't, because he's been missing it, because he's been losing, I don't have that mystique anymore. And I'm telling you, every year that goes by where he doesn't do that, the mystique is going to drop. And eventually we're going to be like looking at him like one of these other greats that are going like, yeah, he's great, but he never he had one. He got one. He got one. And I would find it highly. Oh my dude, I'm going to be amazed. And let's remember this comment. Remember this feeling that we're having right now. I'm going to be amazed if he ends his career with just 1 Super Bowl ring.
I would be amazed with that as well.
We may be watching that. There's that many good teams out there. There's that many great quarterbacks out there.
Well, another interesting thing, I saw a graphic the other day. So first off, let me preface it by saying there was a time, my son is now 11. Up until like, what was it, last year, I think, maybe the year before, 2 years. My son, since the day he was born, never knew an NBA Finals without LeBron James in it. Like, from the day my son was born all the way until he was like 9 or 10, just LeBron in the Finals is just what you did.
Right.
Well, over the last 10 Super Bowls, every single one of them have had either Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes in it. 6 of them were Brady and 5 of them were Mahomes. That's crazy if you think about it. Over the last 10 seasons, one of those two have been in it. Brady, since Mahomes has
my
been in there,
point.
he's been in 5 straight NFC championships, but he's only been to 2 Super Bowls. Won one, lost the other.
That's my point.
That's crazy though.
But the difference is that Brady came away with victories.
Yeah. Well, out of the last 10 years, he was in 6 of them, and he won, I don't know, like 3 of them.
No, the other graphic was he was in the Super Bowl 50% of his career. 50%. Until
insane.
this year. This year tipped it. But before this year, 50% of the time he was in the Super Bowl. That guy doesn't even know what it's like to not play in this cold time.
Yeah,
I mean, in this February or whatever. You don't even know. He always played in February.
Yeah. But Mahomes, this is 5 straight NFC or AFC championship games. 5 straight. That's crazy, dude. Like that's insane. That's almost to the level of when the Bills went to 4 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Even though they lost them all.
They shouldn't have got rid of Tyreek, man. I'm sorry.
Maybe.
They
actually had more offensive numbers this year without Tyreek, though.
Doesn't matter. Because they had to do different things. It forced them to do different things. But if you didn't have to be forced that, and you could have kept moving forward with Tyreek, come on.
Maybe. I mean, they're still in the NFC.
Tyreek is a playmaker.
They're still in the AFC Championship game. He still had an MVP caliber season, and they still might go to the Super Bowl and win it all. So I don't know, man. I mean, it's hard to say that when they're where they're at. So I don't know. The other NFL news, just so everybody's paying attention, Quinn from the Cowboys said he's coming back as the defensive coordinator. Panthers have hired Wright, which was the old Indianapolis coach. Even though they interviewed Sean Payton, but they didn't pick him. They picked the other guy.
Dude, where's Sean Payton going to go? That's going to be.
Who knows?
That's a real good grab.
Some people are talking about San Diego.
That's a great grab for somebody, man. Where does he want to go?
Yeah, who knows? Even Cliff Kingsbury, I think he's actually better than people were giving him credit for. Even though he's out on the beach somewhere in like Tahiti with his girlfriend, but getting paid by the Cardinals still. But even him, I think he's better than people give him credit. He just got really bad breaks in Arizona. But I think he would be a major grab for somebody. But the other thing too with the Panthers, I think now that Lovie Smith got fired, I think there's only one or two black head coaches in the NFL, which is pretty crazy.
We're the constant. Steelers are constant. We're just black and we're strong, bro. We've always been black and strong.
Well, not always, because Bill Cowher wasn't black, but I hear you.
He thought he was.
But you know that
he's the opposite of black, bro.
Yeah. But that's the news, right? It was the Carolina Panthers, instead of going with the black interim, they decided to go with the other guy. So, which is a good coach, mind you. I mean, he did a good job in Indianapolis, but still, the optics are like, really, you couldn't do that. I'm sure Brian Flores out there somewhere saying, "Told you."
He's a Steeler. Brian Flores is a Steeler. We picked him up, and I'm glad. And I hope we picked him up last year.
A funny
I hope
side
we pick
note,
up Byron Leftwich. I'll take Leftwich, man. He was our quarterback when he played. Bring him on as one of our coaches.
A funny side note: head coach. Brian Flores for the Dolphins went 8-8. The new guy McDaniels went 8-8. Just as funny little side note. They both.
But he's good, man. I thought your guy would do better. I thought
Daniels, whatever, in the Dolphins. Yeah,
he'll do better. He's like a little genius kid.
His starting quarterback had 3 concussions. I mean, how you it is what it is. Not everybody can be Shanahan,
by the way. Yeah, Tua's not your guy, by the way, bro.
No, but not everybody can be Shanahan. Shanahan's with our 3rd string quarterback potentially go to the Super Bowl. So
there's certain quarterbacks that are just not going to be who you thought they were going to be.
Yeah, which I think, mind you, one of them. Who do you got coach of the year? Who do you think coach of the year? I think a case can be made for our guy.
I think your guy can get it. I think
a case can be made for
GM of the year. You should get it for sure. Hands down.
Yeah, John Lynch is GM of the century as far as I'm.
But coach of the year, you might take it. Although it wasn't a big difference. You guys were already there last year. You already.
Yeah, but that's him. But our coach.
Yeah, no. but coach of the year. You would hope for like some little like big jump, right? I don't know. I think what Eagles might be there with you too, man.
You got to say Jacksonville too. Job.
That's a phenomenon.
Jacksonville.
That I'd probably have to give it to them.
That dude, like, you go from the
Yeah,
whatever.
there you
they were
go.
last year.
That's who I would give Coach of the Year. There you go.
I
There you
would
go.
say
That's
either
to me
him.
that made the biggest movement from where they were to where they are right now.
I would say either him. I'm okay with. I'm okay with Shanahan if he gets it, because I do think that taking a third string quarterback to the potential that come on, man, it's never been done before. And it's all a testament to his scheming and system that he's developed.
No, correct. You're definitely
but
if you would get it, that's not.
But the Jacksonville one, like, I wouldn't be mad. I mean, the dude comes into, like, what were they, like 4 and some? I mean, they were horrible. Jacksonville, the laughing stock of the whole league.
Right.
It was like a bye week for every team. You just knew, like, oh yeah, we'll win that one. They were in the playoffs, and they were in the divisional round of the playoffs and gave Mahomes a run for his money. Like, wow.
Right.
And I'm sorry, when Urban was there, Trevor Lawrence looked like a bust. Like, they were writing him off. Now the dude had a pretty good year. So I don't know. I wouldn't be upset if Jacksonville got it. I'm obviously pulling for my guy, and I think my guy could get it, but I wouldn't be upset if Jacksonville got it.
Right.
And I don't know enough about Philly, what they did last year, to know if that dude did a good job this year. I just don't. Maybe he did. Maybe I don't know.
We've gone through a lot of quarterbacks, to get here.
I thought Jalen Hurts has been there for a couple of years.
But I mean, remember, we were just in the Super Bowl, then had a big crash. We don't have either of the two quarterbacks that we went to the Super Bowl with. You understand that, right? And when I say we, just so you guys understand,
well, Wentz was a joke.
I was born in Philly, but I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. But I was born in Philly, raised in El Paso, Texas, is home. But I'm a Steelers fan because
you're not a Cowboys fan.
Family. I'm a black sheep of the family, and they're all Dallas fans. And so,
does your mom and all them hate me, by the way, because we tore into the Cowboys?
No. I think the day I started cursing on air is the day my mom stopped watching.
Yeah, I haven't seen her talking lately, so yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think she likes when I use curse words, and because I never curse in front of my mother, man. I don't talk like that in front of her.
So who are your picks this weekend? You said Cincinnati, Philly.
Those are your
picks.
Philly.
Yep. My picks are Cincinnati, San Francisco, of course.
I think this is Philly's year. Again, Philly's got it. They've done the best consistently all year. I think, to the point they've done what they needed to do. I think yours would be an amazing 30 for 30. I think it already still is an amazing 30 for 30 episode. So it wouldn't shock me. It really wouldn't shock me. But I just think that this is not going to be that fairy tale.
We'll see.
But if it is, I mean, shit, bro. As a fan of sport and a fan of good fairy tales and sports, I mean, this. I mean, how can you not like the moment as a fan, as a football fan?
Well, my problem is I can't see that as well as I think I want to, because I'm so invested. It's my teams, so I'm wanting to win. So I'm not looking at it from the outside. I'm looking at it from right in the middle of it, and I want us to win because it's been a while, and I want it. If I intellectually think about it, yeah, I mean, going from Mr. Irrelevant to winning this, like, what? I did finally see somebody talk about it on the morning show a couple of days ago about if Brock Purdy wins it all, he would be our guy and Trey Lance would back him up. I did hear that, where they're talking about that already.
You'd have to.
Yeah, I don't know how you bench a Super Bowl winning quarterback for an unproven.
There's no way I would.
Yeah.
There's no way I would.
You can't. No, you can't. I've even heard I think you were even mentioning it too, that people talked about trading Trey Lance at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd go that far. I'd pump the brakes on that.
I would.
Because I don't know.
It depends on who plays the closest to Brock. What I told you is whoever has the most similar style to Brock, that they can come into Brock's offense and perform well. That's the guy I keep.
I mean,
like for us,
Brock
that's Trubisky. Trubisky can play that role better than Mason. Mason's a completely different quarterback. Trubisky's closer to Pickett, so that's why we should keep Trubisky.
At this point right now, I think we get rid of Jimmy easily, and we keep Trey and Brock. We keep the two of them. Now, who starts next season? I don't know. But Jimmy's got to go. Like, if the handwriting is all over the wall now, it's like, dude, like, the third stringer came in and did better than you. And so it's like, I love you, kid. You did great for us when you're in, other than when you jimmied it up. See you later. No hard feelings. Like, I don't hate the guy, and I'm sure he'll make another.
He helped you build a team.
Yeah.
He helped you build a team.
Yeah, I have no hard feelings for him. He's not our guy. Yeah. He's just not. He's had many opportunities. He couldn't get it done.
He was good enough to help you build a team.
I think he could be a good team builder. I think he could go around to teams and be good enough to get them up and then be replaced by somebody better. Because I don't think he's the guy. I think that it's not our system. I just think for whatever reason, when it matters most, when that clutch gene is important, he just does not make good decisions.
Right.
When the pressure's on, he'll throw that pick, and it's like, come on, bro.
He forgets what color jersey he's wearing for sure.
Yeah, that's what makes Joe Burrow so good, right? Because no matter what the defense does, Joe Burrow seems to have the right freaking call, the right read every time. He makes the good decision. He's not going to outrun anybody. He's not going to throw the ball the furthest in the NFL. But he just makes the right read, and that's what made Tom Brady so good. Was Tom Brady didn't have the biggest arm. He damn sure couldn't run, but he made the good decisions. He knew how to find the right guy. The thing that I was most impressed with Tom Brady, that I think Joe Burrow has, and what has also made Brock Purdy successful right now, is you're not afraid to do the smart play. So many quarterbacks appear anyways to be afraid to make the smart play, meaning throw it away, live to the next down. They all want to run around and try to make it last, or they want to hit a home run with every single one. And Tom Brady was not afraid to take the Tom Brady wasn't afraid to take the 3-yard pass. Tom Brady wasn't afraid to take the check down. Tom Brady wasn't afraid to just, all right, let me throw it away. So many other quarterbacks feel like each down is so precious that you got to wring every last drop out of it. And that's what gets you in trouble, because those defenses are too good and too fast to take too many risks. And to me, Tom Brady was probably the best, because there were so many times that I would see him get in trouble and he would just throw it away. And as a fan, if you don't know anything about that, you're like, what are you doing? But as somebody who does know about that, that is the smart football play. It's the same thing with LeBron James. People used to give shit to LeBron James because he wouldn't take the shot, and he passed. But yet the pass was the right basketball move. That person was closer to the basket. They were open. They made the shot. But people would give him shit because it's like, you're LeBron. You're supposed to take no, LeBron's not Jordan. LeBron is LeBron. And he would do the smart basketball play, the higher percentage play, the smart play. And so Tom Brady, I think that's what set him aside from so many, was he would consistently make the smart play. It's not the most exciting play. It's not the play that we all want to see. It's the smart play, which is why he had more downs. And I think that Joe Burrow does a good job at that as well. And so far, that's why Brock Purdy has been successful, because you've seen a lot of them. He just throws it away. Now, last week, there was a couple when I was just like, bro, what are you doing? It's like he tried to run around a little bit too much. I'm like, dude, that's not what you've been doing for the past 6 games.
That's what you're going to see more of. He's in playoff now, man. He's in something. The hype that this poor kid is getting, I don't envy it. He's way too young. He's 22, 23 years old.
Yeah, but he played like 40-some games in the
It's not about games played. It's about the bigness. Sure. This is the biggest stage that you could possibly get on, man. And oh my God, bro. Everybody he's ever idolized is talking something about him. They all know his name. That's
he looks like he's 12, dude.
So I'm saying that's got to do something to you, bro. I'm sorry. He's younger than my oldest kid. I'm telling you, that's freaky to me. It's freaky to me.
He looks like a baby.
So I'm very concerned about that for him. That's why I just can't. And I think that's why a lot of the seasoned players, as much as they want to go for San Francisco, they're saying they all would then eventually go to that.
That's what makes this so much sweeter.
Yeah,
because they all said that about Tom Brady.
Yep.
When Tom Brady came in as a 6th-string quarterback, everybody says, "Oh, well, Drew Bledsoe will be back." Whatever. Nope, that didn't happen.
Hey, dude,
Roethlisberger said that.
Roethlisberger came from Miami, Ohio, bro.
Yeah, and
came from Miami, Ohio.
A lot of them said the same thing about many of the quarterbacks in the league right now. They're candidate. Yeah, it's never happened until it does. Yeah. And then what do you say? There's always that one. So that's what'll make it so much sweeter if he does, from a football fan. And I genuinely hope if that does happen, I could set aside my jubilation of a 49ers fan to fully appreciate what that meant. Right now it's hard because I'm so invested in my team, and I'm just like, win. So I sincerely do hope that if we do win it all, I can fully appreciate what I just witnessed, because that would be amazing, dude, to have for those of you who don't know, the guy was the last pick, like a full 6 rounds in the draft went, and nobody wanted this kid. He was called Mr. Irrelevant, which means you're the very last pick in the draft. That's like the janitors are sweeping up. People are in the parking lot going home, and they called this dude's name. He's a third string quarterback. Nobody wanted him. He wasn't supposed to play at all. The number one guy goes down week 2. Then our good old faithful that's been around for a while comes in, and he's doing what he does. He's keeping us in games and winning, and then he goes down.
Yep.
And then Brock Purdy gets a shot and says, all right, dude, what are you going to do? And all he's done since he's come in has been 7-0. He's had, 16 touchdown passes and 3 interceptions. He's now going in the NFC Championship game. Never happened. Like, hats off, kid. You can imagine how proud his parents have got to be watching this happen for their son. Like, I see him in the stands all the time. Like, what an amazing movie story.
Right. Yeah, I agree with all that. And and on top of that, you're also talking about a quarterback class that was considered the weakest in a long time. And yet out of that quarterback class, we got Pickett and we got Brock Purdy. Both of us got our starting quarterback from that drafting class.
Yeah.
And I think both of us would agree that we love our quarterback from that drafting class. I know we love Pickett. We love Pickett. He took the job from Trubisky, man. So he already took it from our guy that thought he was going to take it. Then he took it from the guy that we brought in to take it.
Yeah.
This rookie in training camp proved I'm better than the guy you went and got. I'm better than that free agent you went and got and took the job. And Pickett ended the year phenomenally well. We thought we had a losing season. So coach of the year stuff, you got to start thinking also like Mike Tomlin did a fantastic job because you thought this team can't possibly even have a winning season. And yet we had a winning season. Incredible story. This Pickett is amazing. And I think Brock Purdy is also amazing. So from a drafting class of quarterbacks, they were considered weak. I think we've at least seen two guys that we hope to see for a very long time do very, very well and take some of those Super Bowls from Mahomes.
What that means, though, is some of these scouts need to shut up and sit down.
Yeah.
How many of these scouts get it wrong? Like, so often they get it wrong. You think of the Ryan Leafs in the world. Sorry, Ryan, if you're watching this, which you're probably not, but sorry, I hate to pick on you, but comes out number 1 and is a terrible bust. Then Tom Brady, nothing. Round 6, dude wins the most. He's the GOATest career you've ever thought of ever, no matter what your perspective is.
Right.
That you cannot imagine a sports career better than his. And yet, same thing, 6th round, nobody thought it. So the scouts need to sit down. Like, you don't know. You really don't know. And then you said something earlier about the quarterbacks. My problem is I've not seen enough of Trey Lance to know what he is. Like, I don't know. I mean, we could have 2 amazing quarterbacks on our hands, or we could have one. I don't know.
Yeah, but at that point, it doesn't matter. At that point, look, once Roethlisberger won, I think it was in his 2nd season or something like that.
Well, his first season, he went to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, but I think the 2nd season, he won a Super Bowl for us or something like that. I mean, it was quick. He was a kid. You know what I mean? He took us all the way up, immediately. And instantly we win. That's why he's a legend to us forever. I mean, he made us championship material from day one when he stepped in.
Never heard about him at all until he did that to you.
Yeah, because he was from Miami, Ohio, bro.
Nothing.
You name me any other player from Miami, Ohio. Any. Go ahead, try.
I can't.
Yeah, good
I think
luck.
there's one, but I don't remember his name right now. But there was apparently, I think there's another one that was really good.
Yeah, good luck. It's just not easy. So to come from that and do what he did is just simply amazing. So to watch another story like that develop, I think is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of your team as a football lover. I love so many players on your team because I love football.
Sure.
But I can't stand you as the fan for the 49ers.
Well, thanks,
from your fan perspective, and there's so many of you fans that I can't even. I don't hate 49ers fans because actually,
where are they? I don't see a lot of them.
Oh, I have them around me. I have love for the people around me that are 49ers fans. So Little Louie, my cousin, which we call nephew, my nephew, Little Louie, him. You, Brandy Eisenberger, who, good friend of ours here in New Smyrna. So there's some people that I really care a lot about. But because I'm the smack talker that I am, that's what makes it even more precious. I want to be able to say, ¿Qué te pasó? Hijo de su madre, man. I'm so excited about this, bro. This is fun.
Good times, man.
I just want to be able to just watch you cry. I'm just that sick of a human being.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen, but I hear you.
Fly, Eagles, fly, man. We shall see. Sunday, 3:00.
I'll be there. I'll be watching.
Yeah, so if you're not watching football on Sunday, it's because somebody got you doing a chore you ain't wanting to do, bro.
No, I'm watching. My
No,
whole.
I don't mean you. I don't mean you. There's somebody listening and watching that's like,
yeah.
Dang it, she's got me committed to go. Hell no.
No,
I'll
have that fight.
I'm putting Angel and Dana on notice.
Yeah, I will have that fight.
You will leave me alone Sunday.
Yep.
You can do whatever the hell you want to do on Sunday, but it ain't happening this Sunday.
Sunday, I don't exist. I'll
That's
be parked
right.
in front of watching TV, watching
Amen
football.
to that, brother. Amen
I'm not
to
answering phone calls. I'm not running errands. Nope.
Oh,
I'm
you're going to be texting me.
If I'm texting you, that means you're going to have to turn your phone off because that means we're winning big.
Hey, by the way, so my son-in-law knows that because when we started watching the game and I was like 15 minutes behind and you started texting me, I said, oh, shit, there's something already happened. I said, I can't even look at it. Don't. And I had to hurry up and catch up to the game because I figured you were already – and every play that you didn't do good, I was like, holy shit, well, why is he excited? Because they suck right now. Holy shit, the Eagles are – I mean, God, I forgot who you put. Dallas is kicking your butt all game. I was like, oh, why is Trini excited? They look like shit.
We disagree on that, but I hear you.
That's because you're emotionally invested.
There was a defensive battle.
You're emotionally invested. Yeah, they out defensed you. Their defense outplayed your defense
We
for
held them
sure,
to 12.
dude.
Twice.
Dak dacked it up
He
the way you
plays
had Jimmy cheated up.
No,
you don't give anyone credit for Jimmy G and you. No, you didn't give anyone credit except Jimmy G. You say Jimmy G'd it, right?
I would definitely say Dak
to the defense. Dak dacked it up. Dacking it up sounds a lot better than Jimmy G'd it. He dacked it up.
Yeah, he did dack it up.
Dak thinks he's the playmaker. For you future quarterbacks out there, you're the quarter, like what Trinity was talking about earlier about Tom Brady. You're not the playmaker. A great quarterback helps the playmakers.
You're a facilitator.
Yeah, you give it to the playmaker.
Unless you're Mahomes.
The playmaker make the play.
Unless you're Mahomes, because Mahomes is different.
Both. He's both though. He gives it to playmakers. He gives it to Juju, just like he used to give it to Tyreek. But you have to give it to your playmaker. You have to give it to your playmaker. And Kelsey.
And if it's not there, throw it away.
Throw it away.
Why is that so hard for them to get, though?
But
dude,
Dak,
throw it away.
Dak thinks he's the playmaker. Dak has no faith in his team, and he has way too much confidence in his arm, and you ain't got that arm, Dak. You ain't got that arm. You are not Troy Aikman. You're not. You think you're Troy Aikman, but you're not. You started counting up the years. You started smiling and going, yeah, it's been 30 years since we've been here. You started thinking way too early that you were who you are clearly not. Yeah. Dallas needs a new quarterback.
And both of his
Dallas,
hey,
Dallas,
bad too.
Call San Francisco 49ers because one of their dudes is going to be available. No, you get one of the other two because they can't keep.
I mean, both of his picks were him too, by the way. Like there was none of these like tip. No, he threw it like I don't know what he was looking at. Like what do you? Especially the first pick. Like, dude, he wasn't even close. Like it could have been
that last 2 minute. And then in that last 2 minutes, brother, have you never practiced a 2 minute drill? Have you what? It's like, what do you guys do in practice? Do you not practice 2 minute drills?
No,
that dude was so calm. That dude, he caught the ball and he let himself be pushed backwards. And they were walking. It's like, dude, time clock, hurry.
My favorite part about that whole thing, other than Ezekiel Elliott getting completely steamrolled against this massive defensive lineman, but my favorite thing was the fact that same thing happened last year when they were trying to come back and they fumbled it all up, but they took all this time, did all these crazy lineups, and there was a timeout called, and just all this drama about their lineup and what they're going to do, and they're going to do a lot of like laterals, and this is going to be a crazy play. The second the dude catches it, our guy done. As soon as he caught it, tackled you, game over. All that crap you were doing was pointless. Loved it. That was my favorite part.
Dude, didn't we go through this last year? Didn't Dak and team make a stupid mistake like within the last seconds? Last year?
The play clock when they didn't get it down in time and they blamed the referee.
Fundamental stuff. This is fundamental football stuff that they just don't have right. There's a fundamental, and now the fastest dude. Isn't this a sad thing? And this is a fact. And I'll end with this. The fastest dude during Dak's last few plays was John Lynch making it from up top in the VIP owner's box down to the field. About that? We timed it. He made it down there in 90 seconds.
Yeah.
You can't make it in 90 seconds. How do you go from the VIP?
There's a video. There's a YouTube video where the guy
Of
did it
him
afterwards,
running?
and he did it in 90 seconds.
Dude, he did it in 90 seconds, which tells
Yeah.
me he was the fastest dude on the field. He had the most intensity on the field. He missed 0 plays.
Yeah.
He missed none of those plays.
Yeah.
That was the fastest man on the field. Too bad John Lynch didn't have a Dallas Cowboy uniform on and would have done something with it, because Dak, you dacked it up. You suck.
John Lynch
Done.
is a hell of a player when he played
Done.
too, though.
Phillies fly. I got 2 things I'm excited about. The Phillies. I keep on calling them the Phillies. I can't help it. I love the Phillies. That is my favorite baseball team, by the way. So Philadelphia Eagles, and then our offseason. I keep on looking to see, all right, what are we going to do? Because I can't wait for the draft, man. We basically have 2 first-round draft picks, because our second-round draft pick that we got ends up being the very first pick of the draft in the second round. So it's like having 2 first-rounders.
Oh, man. So I was looking for that video just now, the John Lynch video about coming down the thing. I'll send it to you later when I find it, because it's funny.
Okay.
I just found it. But the thing that we did not talk about that we probably should have, and I don't know if we have enough time now to truly cover it, but Ed Reed and the black college fiasco that happened. I don't know if you.
Oh, what I miss?
So Ed Reed,
good, thanks.
You know who that is. Ed Reed is the old safety from the Ravens, probably the greatest safety to ever play.
I don't want to hear that. No, I don't want to hear that.
Dude,
he's a Raven. I'm sorry, bro.
I know. But Ed Reed was lights out, man. Ed Reed was one hell of a player. Anyways, he was contacted to be the coach of Bethune-Cookman College down here in Florida. Historically black community college. He went there, and apparently he felt lied to about what was happening there. And then he went on Instagram Live for I don't know how long, like 15 minutes or something. Had this big long diatribe and complaining and calling out everything about the lack of resources that they had, the poor conditions that were there, just horrible facilities. And then that, of course, went viral. They ended up not hiring him because of all that, because you can't hire someone who just trashed your whole program. Then Shannon Sharp and Reggie Diaz came out and kind of talked about it a little bit. He responded to him. And then some of the players came in and protest. It's like a whole big thing, and it's basically shining a light now. If I'm honest, the difference between these big 5-star recruit, Alabamas and the facilities and the finances that go into those versus these lower tier black community college that,
they're not community colleges though.
Well, whatever. There's
not a 2-year college.
No, but there's a thing that is called, I can't think of the name at the moment, but the black colleges. It's
HBCU, the historical black college.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So those ones, when you look at the facilities that the Alabamas, the Floridas, the Notre Dames, even, the Texas, like 5-star facilities.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing the things that they have in these facilities. You went to the HBCUs. I mean, they're sharing helmets. Some of them had mold in them. The field, like the fence wasn't even there. It was like broken down. They had the players out there picking trash on the fields and everything. Like it was horrible. Like, what the hell is happening here? And so Ed Reed took exception to that, called it out, got pissed off. And then that started the debate of, how the money is spent, where it's used, things of that nature. It's kind of a big deal that happened over the last couple of days.
That sounds like a really big deal. I'm surprised I didn't hear about it.
Well, that's because crazy. in the original spotlight, if you will, was shown down because Dion went to.
I know why. It's another story where the white man didn't do it. I got it.
Exactly.
But you are safe this week.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You white people
win for the white people
this week. I applaud you, man. I applaud you. It's all of us brown people that keep on doing stupid shit this week.
Well, so the original story was when Dion went to HBCU and did well, actually, but then he left and went to Colorado. Some people got mad that he went to Colorado instead of staying in HBCU. Whatever. That's a difference of opinion. But that was the first thing, was somebody of Dion's stature came to an HBCU and did what he did.
Yeah.
And then Ed Reed, like I said, Ed Reed came to do the same thing.
You want to do the same thing, huh?
And then lit him up.
Well, then he should go to Jackson. Try to keep up.
That'd be interesting.
Try to keep what Dion started. Here's what I say to Mr. Reed: you should have went there and fixed it.
Well, he was willing to.
Money there. And
well, he was willing to.
Then you don't talk shit about it. Then you get the job and make it happen like Dion did.
I think
I'm sure Jackson State wasn't a 5-star beautiful place either, but he went there and he fixed it.
Well, the reason why Ed Reed went on is, according to his little 13-minute thing, he was lied to. Like, they told him certain things, and then when he got there, it was like I guess his office wasn't even clean. It was all destroyed and disgusting. They didn't even wipe it down. Like I said, the helmets, they were sharing helmets, and the helmets had mold in them. Like, what the hell, man?
I don't. But have we seen the true video of all this, or is this just?
He's actually on the video. He's
showing the helmet.
Yes,
he's showing the helmet with mold in it?
He's showing the trash. He's showing the fence. It's like not even a fence. It's all torn down. And then the students got pissed off that they shafted him. So the students went and protested on the actual field or the campus. And then they were talking about how they're sharing the helmets and there's mold in them and everything. Like, it started a bit of a thing.
Oh, so he's on the good side of this, meaning like, he's right.
And he was saying, and when he said though, he said, "Look, I'm not even telling you I won't be here. I want to be here and I want to fix it. Like, I'm keeping my name in the running." But they said no. Like, they said basically, you can't go talk shit about us. And
that's where they're wrong. That's where they're wrong. They should say, you know what, you're right. We're sorry. Yeah. We're a mess. Come in here and fix it. Let's do this.
Yeah.
That's where you messed up again.
Yep.
I would like him to be this close just so I could just hate on him more.
But he did. I mean, he showed it all, and it was just like it looked like my old middle school looked better than what they were running around on, man. They showed the mats for the track and field thing. Like, they were like, ugh, they look disgusting. Like, I wouldn't sit on that, let alone jump on it. Like, it was just gross. Man.
That's misuse of funds. I agree. That's misuse of funds.
Yeah.
That's somebody that got some coin that's not giving it to the people that it should go to, man. That's disgusting. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And that's probably what players see, so players don't go. Somebody that wanted to go there probably chose not to because of that. Well, never said it. Never said anything about it.
Well, if you're a 5-star recruit, right, and you go, I use Alabama just because they're Alabama. Nick Saban comes to your living room, talks to you, invites you up to Alabama. Okay. Now we're talking about Tuscaloosa. It's Alabama. Nothing sexy going on there. Nothing. But you show up to the campus and you're like, whoa. You look at their facilities, you look at all the championships, you know that you're pretty much going to the NFL if you come here. No. Okay, I'm liking this. Then you get a call from Bethune-Cookman. And you show up to Bethune-Cookman and you look around and you see trash. You see like weeds and grass overgrown on the track. You see the helmets.
Your grass picking day is on Wednesday.
Yeah, you got to go out there and pick up the styrofoam cups that everybody left behind. Like, where are you going? I'm going to Alabama. Screw that. Why would I possibly go here if I have the talent to go elsewhere?
Right.
So I agree.
No, that player's even going to UCF, bro. That player's because the reality, there's people that are making the decision between UCF and then the traditional HBCUs that we have here in Florida, and some of those guys are going to Florida, UCF, Florida State, Miami, because they're not going to go to those because they want to stay in Florida. They want to go to an HBCU in Florida, but because there's a lot of good history here in Florida with the HBCU, so Florida has got that thing, right?
Well, they got the Bethune-Cookman and the FAMU. The classic.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, the classic is the classic, bro. I mean, you're either a rattlesnake or you're not, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So these guys, they have this dream of probably going to one of these colleges, and that's the only reason they get them is because the classic and shit like that.
Sure.
Not because you're treating them better. And so treat them better. Pay who you got to pay. Clean the shit up and stop treating your athletes like crap. How about that? That's pretty bullshit. Much. Yeah, we should do a thing. You know what? I'll see if I can get somebody from one of those schools. I think I can.
I think I could probably get somebody too.
Oh, all right, right on. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's figure it out. Yeah.
All right.
Right on.
So I'm going to go watch this video. Today. No, we got to go watch the video. We got to go watch the Pelosi videos now. Release people. Go watch the Pelosi video. It's a beautiful thing. We're going to now finally be able to say what happened in this video. Yeah. I don't think it's just body cam. It might be body cam and security cam footage. Yeah. But anyway,
I'll look at it.
Let's go watch this, and we'll have something to talk about next Friday in regards to all this. All right. So final words, Trinity.
Now that you know better, do better.
Adios, amigos. Time for a taco. Goodbye.